famous people. I don't care. This site is for the VIPs. Chini. And then she disappeared. A few minutes later, we were ushered into the venue. A beautifully decorated venue, just like this one. And there I was, seated at the front, with my president, Comrade OR, and a whole lot of other comrades. When the master of ceremonies introduced us, of course, he started with my president, Comrade OR. There was a loud, deafening noise and ululation by African women. And then it was my turn to be introduced. At time, I fixed my eyes on that particular sister when the master of ceremonies was introducing me. And the MC, a colored chap, a very warm one, who was visibly excited to see the delegation of the African National Congress, and said, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to introduce the delegation of the ANC. You just saw the president, the outgoing president of the ANC, Comrade OR. But now I'm going to introduce to you the deputy president of the ANC. You saw a few weeks ago walk out of Victor First prison in Cape Town with his beautiful wife, Winnie, and they raised their fist in the air. And they said, Amandla. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome and make some noise for my massacant, Nelson Mandela. You can imagine, after that introduction, there was a very, very loud noise. One person that was not excited was that sister. I fixed my eyes on her while the other people were excited. She fell down and fainted. And that is why you must always introduce yourself. I thank you. I thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we rise for the national anthem of the Republic of South Africa? Please observe all protocols related to the performance and the singing of the national anthem. Remember, in this country, it is only the head of state whose hand is up here when the national anthem is rendered. The rest of us, our hands are on the sides during the national anthem. Thank you. you may all be seated. May I invite to the podium to welcome us all. And the portfolio head for special planning and development, Buffalo City Metropolitan Municipality, Councillor Africa Matongo. Over to you. Welcome here with a big round of applause.
Let's make sure that I know what to say. So I can at least be visible. Let me see. Okay. Good morning, everyone. The MEC for Sport, Arts and Culture, and your HOD in the administration at large, the DDG of National Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and your office. The stars in the room, our sports fraternity in the Eastern Cape, the stars in the room, our vibrant artists that are here today, I've seen earlier, our program director, Chawe. Good morning, everyone. I was asked to stand in here on behalf of the executive mayor, but you know, MEC, you don't say, "Hi, but I wasn't told." You just get up and you go. You chin up and you show up. That's what we do. So I would like to welcome you in the province of the legend in the Buffalo City, the former border region. As you know that this is the region of legends, this one that we are in. Both our heroes, sports, political, and I know that the very first sports council was established in this particular region, in the former border. When you go down, I like to say this when I speak. When you go down the Esplanade, you see the Heroes Acre in this beachfront that we are in. And I would like to welcome this initiative, MMC. MEC, I'm sorry, I'm the MMC. These abbreviations, they sound alike. MEC, I want to thank the national government for doing this, because we've read in the news, we've seen how the stars end up, for a lack of a better word. That you are a star one day, the next day no one knows your name, like Pathway said. It's bad. So I would like to welcome this initiative because it gives us hope that the wellness and the welfare of our stars will be taken care of. We want to welcome, as a BCM, especially the directorate that deals with sports as well, and to say that we will work with the provincial government as well as national in order to ensure that we also put our support in hand in this great initiative. We also see that the stars do commit suicide, mainly because they don't have support, and maybe we're not lending an ear to listen. You know, sometimes as young athletes that I see here today, you go to sports is a place where you escape, especially if you are in love with the sport. You escape, you go there, you show yourself, and things don't go your way. You get picked this season, you don't get picked the next season. You are, left with feelings that you must express yourself. We are saying, as the Buffalo City, that we want to ensure that we will do our part in terms of coming closer to the welfare of our artists and our stars. Before I sit down, because mine really is to welcome you to the Buffalo City, but I want to say that though things will not go your way all the time, Sports is not about you pinning yourself on winning only. It's really about living your best life. And I think if you give yourself that time, mental health is something as Africans don't like to talk about that much. But it is the best thing I've ever done myself. We do need therapy. That's someone you will say things that you will never say or repeat out loud. Those most embarrassing moments, those frustrating. Love can be also very frustrating. I've since realized at my old age. So I'm saying that I want to thank the National Department of Sports for this initiative and to also, want to encourage the youngsters to say, go out there, speak to someone, get help. I know the champ is here, the former champ of boxing, Uvuyani, the beast, is also here. So I'm saying that it's nice that we see the stars of yesterday also coming closer to our youngsters so that they can help them. Without wasting time, I would like to say to you, on behalf of the Metro and in behalf of the executive of the Metro, welcome and engage freely, no intimidation, engage so that you get the most of this event. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, she is the Councillor Noma Africa Makongo, in charge of special planning and development. Let's give her a big round of applause again. Just a few housekeeping rules. If you happen to have a cell phone with you, and some of you are lucky to have 2 or 3, kindly make sure they are all on silent or vibrate so they don't interfere with the proceedings or the broadcast, because I am advised that we are streaming live as well, so we don't have interference. Okay. We beg and you vibrate. Mandaba. I know you vibrate, you copy better. And you? We have bathrooms at the back. Okay, should you need nature break at some stage. If you sit at right at the back and you see some of the chairs in the front, you'd love to push forward, please do that. Thank you so much. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the people that have been very loyal to Silapha is Gaddafi, the poet. Usually, Imbongi as introduced. Lambongi ke ibonga lembongi zabonga Africa kumanina wena Africa come on tatabona Africa kumele zolikwatiwe vumana ukuba inezolidinjiwe ekandali kavuka nolokandukisala atabane kamane niqinile nakuyibona yakho mnyamiseja mzopazana zomzolubelile natabane ma-Afrika nezoliphathiwe vumane ukuba inezolidinjiwe
uqoqo. Masasithethe sengoyiki kuba kaloku sinikwe igunya lokuthetha. Wow! Ndibavela usiza abangathethiyo. Ndibavela usiza abangakhaliyo. Ndibavela usiza abangaboniyo. Ndibavela usiza abangakhange bahambe. Hleze ezabo iinyawo zawuqhawulwa. Hleze yabo imilomo yawusikwa. Hleze ezabo iindlebe zawususwa. Hleze wabo amehlo soze angaphinde abone. EmaAfrika qinani kuba nani ilizwe limile. Lifuna abantu abafana nani kuba kaloku linani bekho lixobane likwazi ukulungisela ilizwe. Yekani kama-Afrika nehle namcinga ndithi ndeham neyo.
Where is Gaddafi? Gaddafi, you're supposed to be here by now. But hold on, man. Gaddafi, Eastern Cape's never for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Gaddafi the poet!
So I'm going to be sharing a poem that I wrote for my mother, and the reason why I wrote it, if you can check the hashtag says, hashtag #Askhulumeni, suicide is not a solution. I'm just thinking and wondering that as I grew up, there was a lot of things that I had to go through in terms of abuse. And as a young man, the only thing that I wanted to see was to see my mother happy and not crying because of a man. And if you can check my shirt, it's written Khulikali, which means Kwanele. Enough is enough. As a young man who teamed up with the legends, there is my colleague there, Edward Mutale Majens, the former Orlando Pirates star, with me today. And we also have Cameron, who couldn't be with us today. We teamed up to say we are going to deal with GBV and F, which is for femicide, right? From the core, which is men. We don't care what women do, how they dress, what they say. They do not kill themselves. They do not ban themselves. They do not abuse themselves. We men abuse women, period. So with that said, I said to myself, I'm not going to sit down, and I want to pass also this message to each and every man who's in the house. If you identify yourself as a man and you're going to sit down and not do anything, you are part of the perpetrators. I must put it to you that if you're not going to call other men who are abusing women out there and you know about it, you are part of the abusers. And with that little bit, as an ambassador of Khulikani, I just want to share this piece. So I want you to understand that it's still part of my healing. So if I get to be emotional while I'm performing it, just understand that it's part of my healing. Kwanele, it's enough. Khulikani. Kwanele, it's enough. Khulikani. He hit a head hard on the floor, her heart paused as his strong muscled arms armed to wrinkle a brown face. My feet vibrates to an earthquake like shakes. That was the soul and body back mopping the tiled floor with fusion of blood diluted with tears. She screamed her heart out, loudly ornamenting the background melody intentionally played to distort his abusive deeds. She got used to the floor and befriended the patterns of the tile lines. She converses with the roof daily, glorifying his immoral endeavors. She no longer appreciates our compliments. The word love to her is a scrambled version of an abbreviation of violence. Disdain overwhelmed their humble sentiments. She feels empty inside, dirty outside. In essence, she sees a walking corpse in herself. She covers the scars with a rim of lies, making up stories confronted face to face. She covers the scars with a rim of lies, making up stories when confronted face to face. Culture and religion blinded both victim and tyrant, dominating their sheep by having relations without a consent. A woman who violated deeply to an extent that she will bleed heavily, as satisfies and feels proud about how strong he is. bragging about how many Navi is. Her pride restricted her to walk away, believing that endurance is the only way to conquer the intense pain felt inside. She can't socialize with workers anymore, fed up to the core, neglected support groups, women's schemes because she believes she's doing it for her kids. Neighbors no longer gossip, kneeling on the palm of her floor, pleading with the Most High to deliver her from the emotional, tortured, physical agony. She has a nose scar. She has a nose scar, a thigh scar, and a deep hole in her heart filled with anger and regret. She was abused by her mother tongue when she tried tongue twisting in the name of multilingualization, and she said, Tiklo, ndiyabulela, xa undiva, xa ngigqiba ukuthandaza wonke amaxesha. A click of annoyance tickled my eardrums through a sweet, sour voice that moves simultaneously with the rhythm that creates the beat, which is an African beat, the beat which is nourished and nurtured through an African drum. I speak of ashiko drum, djembe drum, marimba drum, combo drum. Ideologically speaking, there was in the beat that beat by beat. And one could say she's a professionalism of a lyricism through how she speaks euphemisms, trying to redress the imbalance of the past that Black African women face on their daily basis, walking around with their blue and black-eyed faces, claiming to protect their marriages. You see, I salute the real men. I salute the real men not by virtue of their six-pack, but when I see them, I still call them Sam, Mr. Maniac. Not those who act like maniacs and douchebags by laying a hand on a very beautiful princess. Instead of making her lips and thighs sweat, you perform your low standard and underestimated acts and make her eyes sweat. As a matter of fact, man, let me tell you, you're weak and whack. Punch me in the face and let's see if it's gonna make you feel more of a man compared to the bruise and disgust you left on her neck. If I was the judge, I would sentence you twice your life. Let them assassinate you, hang you on the wall and let you rot. Should leave you like Bob from generation, but Bob Marley's legacy will live from generations to generations because it's a true reflection of a real man. Don't be fooled by the traditional and cultural, generally acclimatized theories and ideologies that men are dominant. If it's so, why then current statistics prevail that more and more women are becoming prominent? Isn't that pure and clear evidence that you should embrace and acknowledge their existence? You moron, go back to your drawing board and concept on the term respect and make an impact and become a real man, because kwanele, hulekane, it's enough. Kwanele, hulekane, it's enough. And in my parting, I would just want to say to all those women who are facing abuse each and every day, I'm praying for you. As much as I can't come to your families, all of you guys, you must just know that I pray for you because I know the pain. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's Gaddafi, the poet. Not only are you a poet, Gaddafi, but you're an activist as well. And I think Gaddafi deserves another big round of applause. Thank you so much. My gents, Gaddafi and I will have coffee later, and I'll talk to you about my program called Father and Son. A lot of boys out there, boy, child, who don't even know their father. They don't even have positive influence. And that's my program that I need to roll out in partnerships with you guys and the departments, the relevant ones. This one, education, social development, etc., etc. But today is not about that. I love that poem. Today is more about really us in arts and sport. Really knowing what a special, extraordinary talent we are and what it means. Because when you are an extraordinary talent, then your lifestyle is not that of other ordinary people. If you lower your lifestyle, you may find yourself at a cul-de-sac. Today is about us being inspired and motivated on how to handle the pressures that we are confronted with on our daily lives. Because of our extraordinary achievements, how do they celebrate you struggling in your community when you've won a medal? Do you say yes to a class when you are an extraordinary talent? How do you handle the pressures of you having lost a loved one, of you having had a marriage breaking down, of you having had your bank suddenly going to the negative from a big positive? How do you handle those pressures? We have a number of champions in the house. Some of them are not even panelists. And because we are in East London, before DDG as a Ngapambi, I just want to brag about the champions that are in the house. You, DDG, I want you to turn around and look at the champions, all the champions in the house. All the champions, from the provincial champions to the national champions and the international champions and former champions of the world. Look at that, boxing champions in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Boxing champions in the house. They are here. They are here. Maybe later at the end of the formalities, I will brag and even bring them on stage so you can see them. They are here in the house. I'll bring them to the front just before the closing remarks so you can see them. They are here. They are here. They are here. This is the Mecca of boxing. Nothing changes. One thing that we're going to be sharpening up is how we prepare our minds and personalities in a Mecca of boxing so that we are Mecca champions as well. Ladies and gentlemen, to give us, before we get the purpose of the day, we want to acknowledge Ubukho Umdwanekazi. Ndiyayithanda ke laa nto xa se-Eastern Cape ndiye ndingaxoli ncam bawuke Makgadebe xa kungekho bantu basebukhosini. Ndiye ndavuya kakhulu ukuva into kokuba kumkanikazi uNonzuzo usuka phaya eNqathu, the great place, ulapha phakathi kwethu. Ndiyafuna ke sikhahlele Anonzuzo, Anonzuzo. Siyabulela. Ndiyathemba into bayibula. Masamkele ngoku into zasinika i-purpose. The purpose of the day, we're going to get it from Dr. Stella Kumalo, the Deputy Director General in the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. Please join me as I welcome her with a warm round of applause.
Thank you very much. Am I there, sir? Thank you very much, Program Director, Patco Mafani. Sanibonani molweni. MEC, the councillor, Unoma Africa, who did the opening for us today. Head of department, my colleagues, senior management in both the department, national department, and the provincial department that are present here, panelists. So looking forward to sitting back and listening to our panelists as they share their journeys with us today. I will not mention their names because I don't want to spoil. I know it's no longer a surprise because we've been putting it out there, but I know the program director will do a better job of introducing them than me. Queen Nonzuzo, we are humbled that you were able to join us, and thank you very much for that. the most important people in the room, as was also indicated by the councillor, Makongo. There is the artists and the athletes that are here. Molweni once again. Molo, it's, yes, I'm waiting for that molo, it's not coming through. Molweni. Now I'm feeling welcome. Program Director, I am going to outline to our participants today and the MEC in particular what this day is all about. So allow me to just quickly take you through the journey of this program. The program itself is referred to as the Silapha Wellness Program, as I believe you have come to know that, which can be interpreted now it's become 3 different ways. When we started the program, we were talking about 2 different ways of describing what Silapha is all about. Where we were saying Silapha could be interpreted as the department saying, we are here for you, athletes and artists, in the form particularly of this program. Or it could be interpreted as saying, we are healing. The program itself is providing healing, Silapha, ama artists, Silapha, ama athletes, through what we are going to describe. Makes up the look and feel of the program. But lately, I think 2 outreach campaigns ago, someone came up with a 3rd version of saying Silapha MEC, saying through this program, we're looking at the vision of saying that we are there, Silapha, we are there. But it is only through understanding and participating in this program that we can support the artists and the athletes to be there. So that's what the program is about, or can be described. The program itself was not a knee-jerk reaction to COVID-19. It started way back in 2019 in terms of some feasibility that was done and a decision that was made by the minister to pilot this program known as the Silapha Awareness Program. Way back in 2019, we know we started hearing about COVID-19 in this country in 2020. But already there was a process that had started administratively, going through a tender process that ultimately led to the appointment of the service provider called Indingilizi that is currently running this program on behalf of the department. So when the idea came through and the feasibility was done by the department, it was as a result of what was happening and what was being observed, the experiences, particularly of the artists, because program director at that time, the department, as you would possibly be aware, was the Department of Arts and Culture. So the program started even prior, MEC, to the amalgamation that happened towards the end of the financial year 2019-20. The official launch at national level of the program was in February 2020, and we visited the first province for this outreach, this kind of an outreach that we are doing here in the Eastern Cape in February. Sorry, we launched in February, and then in May, we visited the first province, which was Mpumalanga province. So we have been going through the length and the breadth of the country, going to different provinces in such a way that this is the 7th province that we are visiting here today to launch the program, to introduce the program to you athletes and artists, and to tell you more about how you can access the program and what it comprises of. It is therefore important, and this will be taken through today, to also understand that the program itself is not just about today. It's not about us coming here and doing these speeches and having these discussions, but it's what you can be able, the kind of a service that is provided. You are going to be told about the call center that you can access 7 days a week, 24 hours, 365 days a year, at no cost to you at all. The cost of this particular service, as some of you would be aware, when you seek a counselor, when you seek a financial expert, when you seek legal advice, it comes at a cost that goes deep into your pocket. But this particular program is being funded fully by the department. And as I indicated, you can be able to access it anytime, and you'll get the detail today as to how you can do that. Over and above the issue of the call center, the counselors that can assist you, the experts in different areas, in the 5 pillars that make up this program that I outline to you shortly. The service provider in English that works with us in implementing this program has gone beyond the call of duty by appointing ambassadors. There are different ambassadors that have come forward, some of them through their own initiative, without even being approached, but some of them, upon being approached, being willing to come forward and share with the country, share with you what sits deep in their experiences. I can name a few people like Penny Libiane, is one of those ambassadors. I think present here today, there is one site ambassador who I will not reveal, as she will be revealed later on. She's here present and she will be addressing you today as well. And quite a number of others, also within Posha, within the space of sport. There's a name that I wanted to mention that has just slipped So Mahlangu, that's the surname I was looking for. He is also one of those ambassadors. So that's one and several other ways that this program is actually run, amongst others. So there are 5 pillars that make up the Silapha Wellness Program. It is the lifestyle management, as you can see in the different banners around this room. There's the kind of a lifestyle, because we start calling you celebrities by virtue of what you do. Now, that comes with pressures, and that affects how you want to be seen out there by the public and by your fans. But how do you deal with the pressure that comes with that when you are alone at home at night? It talks to issues of financial management. The money doesn't keep coming all the time. If you are an athlete, there is a time when you get a call, there is a time when it all goes quiet. The same thing applies to the artist. Financial experts within this program will talk to you and assist you just a phone call away. Issues of mental health management, depression, and the like. Substance abuse, we know that our artists and our athletes are sometimes exposed to a lot of substance out there that is detrimental to their health and their mental condition. How do you deal with that? Legal advice, as I said. You are actually approached by a whole lot of agents that will come with ready-made contracts. And because you are so eager to get this job, you are so eager to participate in whatever opportunity has come up, you sign on the dotted line. But at the end of the day, you find that what was contained in the contract is not necessarily to your benefit. Here we have legal advisors that are able to come forward, that are able to assist you. They are just a phone call away. We actually call upon you to remain throughout today, throughout this session, because over and above what you will hear this morning before lunch, what is even more important is what happens in the afternoon, where you break into smaller sessions and you are able to ask questions and get details about the what, the how, the when, and the why. So please, when you go for lunch, do stay after lunch, because that is where you really get a detail behind what I've just said, where I've not been able to go into sufficient detail. The theme of today's session is suicide is not the solution. That has not also already been mentioned. Masithetheni. And the opportunity, as I say, is here today. Please don't miss out on that opportunity where you will be able to have your say as well, especially during those breakaway sessions. All we are saying as the National Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, all that the Minister, Natim Tetwa, is sending to you as a message is, as an artist and an athlete, don't suffer alone. It can be very cold when you are popular, but even colder when you are less popular. We are hoping that through these sessions, we are creating ambassadors out of you, because it's not just the hundreds of people that are sitting here, but it's those that couldn't make it, that we hope that, or couldn't be accommodated in terms of what the capacity of the room could take. That we are hoping you will take the message back to them to say, this is the kind of a program and this is what you can be able to access. There are brochures like this that are sitting on your tables. Please do read them. They contain further detail. They contain contact numbers. And those contact numbers range from toll-free numbers. Please call where you just send an SMS, wellness, to 48445. There's a WhatsApp number as well. And also how you can access in our social media platforms. So in addition to listening to the speakers, please also, sorry, I'm about to finish. Oh, the director is not even taking care of me. Anytime.
I wanted to hear you cough.
Thank you very much. I'm just concluding. Before I conclude, MEC, I just wanted to explain very quickly the fact that the minister, after we had launched in February, in May, as we were starting with the first province, made a decision to integrate the program. I know the MEC is aware of this because it's been explained to the MECs. To integrate this program, the Silapha Wellness Program, together with two other initiatives of the department. Gaddafi has mentioned the Khulikane program. The Khulikane program is all about men, exactly what Patko was saying. It's all about men and the boys having a conversation, you know, creating that paradigm shift in the mind of the young boy around what they see and they witness around them. But by listening to the responsible men, sharing with them and guiding them and showing them the way. Gaddafi is one of those ambassadors in the Khulikane program. There is Cameron Puley, who is not here today. But Majens, very quickly, if you can just come here. There is also Majens, as was mentioned, Edward Mutale, former Orlando Pirates player, former Bafana player. Because the program doesn't allow all the ambassadors to speak, We just have the Gaddafi, who normally does the poem and introduces what Kulikani. But just 2 minutes, program director. I see you are managing the program very well. We are ahead of time. Just 2. Your message.
Molo, Likren, let's up together, man. Yeah, so special look my name, Kima. Yeah, before more than a parent and my father. Now I just simple, skillful and handsome play. Nothing else. So I just enjoy my thing. And I was enjoying my opponent to understand. So, but like what Chilumori, suicide is not the solution. So, whatever we benefit on just look after it. The little you got, just look after it. Whatever you do, just love it. Now, whatever I did, everybody will testify. Now I enjoy myself, whether we're winning or losing. I just have fun. So yeah, but they will talk later. Kuba breakaways. Uh, we go deeper into the 5 pillars. So yeah, go.
Now, thanks before you run, just turn around and face towards me. If you read what is written on the T-shirt, I pledge to teach and show my son how to take care, love, and protect his mother and sisters. That is what is written on the Now, it is very important for the country, MEC, that is facing a scourge and another pandemic in the form of gender-based violence and femicide, to embrace this. So that is one of the 3 integrated programs. The last one is Bakawa Fazi. Bakawa Fazi is a crafted name that talks to women survivors, women that have experienced abuse at the hands of their partners, colleagues, respected pastors, etc. It is very important that you understand that Bakawa Fazi is all about women that willingly came forward to say, I will share my experience with you. Embarrassing as it is to some of you, Cheryl Zoli is one of those women that is part of this program. So that's the program that also forms part of this integrated program as the minister defined. I would like now to request that, I don't know whether it's you, program director, or Jake, who is going to light the candle as we conclude, or the MEC to join me. Okay, thank you very much. If MEC, you could please join me. We will be lighting the candle.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we all rise and observe a moment of silence as we dedicate these 2 candles before me towards those whom we have lost, the artists as well as the athletes. We recently have just lost a poet yesterday. We have lost 21 young lives in your baby, and we have lost so many athletes and artists to COVID-19. Can we observe that moment of silence? At the end of that, I will then blow off the candles. May their souls rest in peace. Thank you very much. Very good morning, Bauki. I still have to find out why we call each other Bauki, because I am not related to Machawi. And I know Ubaukas is not related to Ohatemi, so I just don't know why we call each other Bauki, but nonetheless, you are Bauki. A very good morning to you, Program Director, Mr. Mputu Mafani, inkosikazi kaKumkani waseNqadu, usekhaya phayana, uKumkani kaZulu noMzuzu. Siyabulela kakhulu bukhona bakho, ma'am, and I know and appreciate the work that you do kwelaa cala laseNqadu, kwisizwe sonke neelali zalangingqi, umsebenzi owenzayo ukuphuhlisa abantwana. Phofu ke awusebenzi nabantwana kuphela, usebenza nabo nabantu abadala. Siyabulela kakhulu bukhona bakho apha symbolizes your commitment towards ukwenza umsebenzi wokuncedisana norhulumente ukuxoxa izimilo zabantwana. Ndithathe lithuba ke ndibulise ku-deputy. Yabona ke xa ungazange uphangelela urhulumente, ezi zinto zoo-DDG, no-DG, no-HOD ungangazazi kakuhle. Mandike ndenze i-payback nje omncinci apha kuBawuki because ndiyamazi zange amphangelele urhulumente. U-DDG is a director, a deputy director general. So ndiyabulisa kuwe Deputy Director General Stella Khumalo, ndibulise u-HOD, the head of department yakwa-Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture in the province of the Eastern Cape, uMama Mpofu, ndibulise onke amagosa karhulumente. But most importantly, ndibulise ii-artists nee-athletes ezikhoyo apha. Udlala i-saxophone. Ngoba uqalisile udlala i-sax, ngangathi ngithethe enye. Udlala i-saxophone kamandi kanjani. Namhlanje ndibona ejikajikana nekhamera, so it means he is multi-talented. I note that maybe we are live streamed. Can I get an assurance? Are we live streamed? Yes, you are. We are, okay. And good morning to all those who are watching us live. Ndiyabulisa andibabulisi ke Bawuki abantu esebehambile, but I do note but earlier on the MMC for spatial planning was in our midst, so she had to quickly dash off. Ndiyabulisa kakhulu kuni nonke, and once again welcome to the province of the Eastern Cape, which is known as the home of the legends. Ndidla ngokuhlekwa ke xa ndiye kwi-Minmec. Kuthiwe ndiyazigqatsa because ndiyaclaima uba anyone who is legendary has roots from the province of the Eastern Cape. Andingomntu uxokayo ke, ndinyanisile xa ndithetha loo nto. We are gathered here today ngemini emnandi, but on the same vein ngemini ebuhlungu. Earlier on when we were observing a moment of silence and honoring abantu esele besishiyile, I made mention of the 21 young lives we lost in less than a month ago in a tavern, Scenery Park, a tavern ebizwa ngokuba yi-Enyobeni. For any parent and any young person, that was a very tragic moment. Kuba akukho mntu ufuna ukuswelekelwa ngumntwana endaweni yentselo, particularly a young person between the ages of 13 and 20. Namhlanje ke njengokuba thina sithe nqwadalala apha nje just a stone thrown away, the Honorable Premier of this province, the Minister of Police, the MEC for Community Safety in the province, are gathered with the families of those 21 children to give a report on what actually killed those children. So immediately because kuyothuma ukuwayinxeba kubazali, kodwa because we believe they need closure, we thought as government that it is necessary that we indicate what actually killed abantwana babo, so that as part of the healing process, they know and understand, even though bengazovuka abantwana, kodwa kufuneka beyazile uba what actually happened on that fateful night. Imine manje ke, on the same vein, because sidibanise apha former legends, former champions, former luminaries, actresses, I see this Nambita Bumwana, former football stars. Because Venice is the Eastern Cape, and because UTTG knows that I'm an Orlando Pirates fan, so you decided to do let's just call you my gents, because when this is was my happy because this is an gents. And I am grateful when I get about hey, because the Nadia Basba, ukwela qela kungekho hope uba lingaze liwine. Besides top. Sidibene kwakhona apha with the young athletes and young artists. Esifuna ukuncedisana nabo. Kuke kwakhona emva kwalento yasenyobeni MEC encinci naso current ne. Noko ndiyakwazi ukuthetha naba bantwana amathuki. Ndibona umntana engathi ngapha ngabo mqandu. Ndiyaxoka. Yabona ndiyabazi abantwana. Ekekho. Hayi amjongi weyo obaleka eKenya. Uyazazi yena. Othukisa inhloko nangoxa ndithetha naye. Ama-2K akhe asiyamisa ngodonga. Particularly thina singomama babo, because I don't understand why the attack was more on females than males. Asiyamisa ngodonga because they don't want us to say hi. And ndizawuza kwesi speech ndisibhalileyo, but ndicela nindivumele because namhlanje is about sharing experiences. And we truly want to learn and understand from your experiences as well. As Bani Bancinci, you have lived at least, even if it's 13 years or 14 years, but you have your own experiences and you have your own world that most of us may not understand, because we have lived in the 80s and 70s, and the pressures that you are currently facing, we don't understand them, some of them. So we want to learn from you so that we can help you live better and make better choices. So today is about literally sharing experiences, and not because we want to live your life, but we have lived long enough to know the dangers that you may be exposed to. So today is literally about opening up a platform. Singaqumbelani, singashoutani, senzane si understand why a lot of you are committing suicide, why a lot of you are undergoing depression. Izolo, the entire world was celebrating a birthday of an icon, a birthday of a statement, a stalwart. Someone who lived through so many values, and I'm going to touch on about 5 of those values. And I am happy because I was complaining earlier on Smosh. How can you organize an event on the just a few hours after we have celebrated Bonga Mandela? Because I am now standing here, literally my makeup is falling apart because I am from Umtata. Mhlawumbe abanye abantu bangangakwazi uba ukude kangakanani eMthatha xa usebenze kodwa kwabethwe 8 ebusuku and still have to drive here. But I am happy. I take back what I said to DDG earlier on. It's good ngoba ngeke ndenze kwanto. When we say agenzi kwanto official, I take back because the experience we had yesterday is now informing what I am going to share with you today, and I am going to extrapolate on the values that Idiba shared with us when he was still alive. We are gathered in the province of the greats. Ningasimoneli emergency mina nisuke eGauteng nawe Gaddafi mina nisuka koLimpopo. Please man, let us shine. We don't have mines, we don't have a lot of avocados. If you want avocados, you can go to Port St. John's. But in Limpopo, every household has an avocado tree. So shinani gezo zinto nina. Tina sishina ngendobana. If you want the best actors or actress, come to the province of the Eastern Cape. Exactly. For decades on end. If you want the best musicians, award winners, showstoppers. If you want the best captains, we are a long list of captains as the Sugabe province in the national captains currently. And Funuband, the parties against chess aids in the provinces. We have living legends. We have living legends. Oma Umatosi, Oma Gazoli, Nosia Kolis, Nabani. So namhlanje we are gathered here as namhlanje ke minister ke bethuna ningathi demote because kaloku xa engekho minister ndim bethuna uba DDG awuyiqhwagi le nto yoba ngu-DG uyazenzela. We are gathered here ke as the Department of Arts, Sport, Arts and Culture because we are really struggling with the issues of mental health in both industries, whether you speak about sport or the industry of arts and culture. And we have seen and we have lost a number of artists and athletes to suicide. Ufike kuthiwa umuntu kuphele iveki engabonwa afunyanwe eflatini yakhe sele eswelekile. Abanye are literally walking corpse. In the public, there is something about social media. There's so much pressure for content. Earlier on, I was talking to, I don't know whether I should reveal her or not, but I was talking to an artist, a musician, who appreciate the headband, and we then chat about the price of it. So I'm not going to reveal how much is it. Yeah. Except to say that it's a Makosa brand. The society. Oh, and then she says, I can't afford my clothes. I can't afford some of the items of my clothes. And the number, dude, I share your sentiments. I cannot afford it. Yeah, it's for Abandabadema in it. So this was a gift. Nothing wrong with wearing expensive brands if you can afford them. There is absolutely nothing wrong. But social media or Instagram, naba Twitter, naba Facebook, puts a lot of pressure because if you are an athlete, internationally, or you are an artist, once you release one song, suddenly there's an expectation that Uzahara must now wear brands from head to toe. And ningabokala to say, I uji talent, so it must be fake. So umntana abantu kufuneka aye diamond walk esentini ayothenga the original. And just big houses eGucci imali kodwa ingathi siphakwa 7,000 ama-cows. Uba ungike uyandibonisa apha uba yena unxibe ezingamaXhosa. Andizoyitsho i-price yeekawusi zingamaXhosa. But I can tell you now, kukhona umqhobosho kamaXhosa onendawo ejingayo ingathi litshakatshele. Umqhobosho, just ibhozo elide. I-R350. Umqhobosho. Cheap, ne? Okay, fine. But my point is, social media and the society put so much pressure in us. Ngoku-actor kayi-one, okanye ngokwenza i-advert eyi-one, ngokudlala i-game match eyi-one ye-women's Springbok. Suddenly there's an expectation that you need to upgrade your car. If you don't have a car, you must buy a car. And there's a certain brand that you must buy. Nani nizifakeni pressure. Suddenly you want to fly business class to Dubai because you want to create content. At whose expense? Nami pressure they feel because even us as politicians, ungathi sizi celebrities of some kind. I don't bow to pressure. You will see me, Mr. Price, because the afforder of Mr. Price. Leloko ndiyinxibileyo yakwa Woolworths. Le jacket ndiyinxibileyo yakwa Zara, because that's all I can afford. Iitshomi zam zadibana ngam ngebirthday yam, ucula lo mfana ecula kamnandi lobe ndisithi nawo roll icamera. Zandithengela le nto. Zidibaniselene nazo because not one person can afford le nto le. So my point is, over and above into yobana xa nine-pressures sisithi Silapha talk to us, we want to encourage you not to absorb pressure. Zazi ukuba ungubani, usuka phi, take your time. Build your empire taking your own time. Learn from those who walked before you. Amaxesha amaninzi sifumanisa into yobana ii-artists xa sele ziswelekile nee-athletes azikwazi nokungcwatywa. One, because there's an expectation yoba kwazinga elo lomngcwabo, yasinceda iCOVID. Kwazinga elo lomngcwabo kufuneka kube khona ii-fresh flowers, kufuneka kube khona i-white carpet, kufuneka kube khona izitulo ezine-gold rings, this and that, because singcwaba a national artist or a national athlete. Oh, madoda. Oh, masibuyele nembo. Siyazibulala. This thing is not necessary. It's not necessary. You will still be the greatest even if you are not flashing around. If you can afford to, well and good. Let me make an example, the last example. We always judge. Most of it is not judge truth. We always judge of Yani Bongo, Indobana, waye world champion. Uteni ka evezi phone yake evezi Mobicel. By the way, Mobicel branded it, so don't get offense. Consider about party Mobicel. Na my phone, Mobicel, my own phone. Akasebenzisa Mobicel, by the way, if you are, I'm named to understand it. You must use iPhone. But we always judge legends, but umajensa akazokwazi ukwaza isport esisikiweyo apha phezulu esingena brand. Wayithini imali yakhe? Please learn from the legends. Because abanye baphila ubomi obubuhlungu ngoku, not because they were reckless during their time, but because they were never exposed to what you are going to be exposed to, Nina. So consider yourselves very fortunate that now you are going to be advised on how you must manage your finances, on how you must manage your brand. Because nifakelwe pressure yokuba if uyi-musician ulindele kumakhadzi makaperforme ngo-4 eRhawutini, ngo-8 ebusuku makaperforme eThekwini, ngo-12 ebusuku makayoperforma e-Eastern Cape, ngo-2 xa kusayo makayoperforma. I mean, she's not a robot, ngumuntu. Bakhona abantu abazoqhatha bathi we are going to give you into le i-drip. Andingogqirha ke mna ke kodwa bra, i-drip ezokunika amandla. Ndiyazi i-drip ikunika amandla xa udehydrated. So you're going to be exposed to these things. The last one, particularly to the athletes. Be very careful who you associate yourself with. Kweza gym nijima kuzo, kukho abantu abazothatha i-water bottle yakho bafake, andizothetha ngani nina niyenza deliberately into yobana umuntu athathe ii-substances azaziyo uba zi-banned. But there'll be those who will be putting something in your water bottle. So be very careful who you associate yourself with. Carry your own water. Water is life. Literally, water is life. Carry your own water, carry your own substance. Because once your bottle is contaminated with something that is banned, a substance that is banned, xa ubuya after the banning period, uzawukoyika nothatha i-disprin. Psychologically, ingqondo yakho izabe ikuxelela into yobana what if kule disprin kufakwe into. So your whole life you'll be subjected to ukoyika, and you can't perform as an athlete if you so back to the speech. Mna mos ndithe namhlanje ndinguminister ndizochila apha imini yonke noma ndingathetha. I just got paid literally 4 days ago, so let me kaloku sibanestipend kule nto yoba ngamakhansela seprovince. So let me put my mouth where my money is and speak the whole day. See, province niyayazi mos uba siyi-province that is resolute in terms of assisting our athletes. Very good to Minister namhlanje. You can sit down. Thank you very much. So today we are here to talk to you as government on what the DDG spoke to earlier on, the 4 pillars, the lifestyle management. I have gone to town on the expectation the society has on you, but we want you to resist the pressure. We are going to help you do that. The financial management, make investments. I have already indicated that it's okay to spend a little on ukeke omhle, but don't go overboard. Legal management. There is a number of athletes and artists, DDG, who sign contracts unknowingly because you are excited at the opportunity that now you are going to play for such a big football team like Orlando Pirates or Chippa United. You just sign without knowing and understanding what you are signing. And maybe because you are signing on a record deal or a company that is going to help you model internationally, you get excited. So we want to say to you, read the fine prints. If you don't understand, ask someone who has been, and those who have, Zahara, please share your stories, and I know you're going to do that later on, so that you help those abalandele emva kwethu. Here is the challenge. Minister of Police bethethe emngcwabeni and was followed by the president. Bobabili xa bethetha banika uxanduva mna lokuba abantwana mabangayi enyobeni. Instead, they must participate in recreation and sporting activities. Mna ndazubaleka. I'm a former rugby player. I'm a former football player. Ngidlala netball. So andizokwazi uku-advise abantwana abadlala netball. Ndixhomekeke kuni. Andikwazi noku-acta, zange nda-acta. So I depend on the artists ezilapha endlini. At least I can try and sing. Yesterday I was a backing vocalist, Karnati Mankai. Yeah, and I think I did a great job. Bueno, ya lo más tanda de silale matumye. Esi wangu we, ya lo más tanda de silale matumye. So I can't, and as a department, we can't do these things without being helped by it. Effectively, all we are requesting is that in the way boxer, you can tell. Boxer ibaleki nje nanjani lakhaka ngathi then sorry I was disturbed boxer yakuliyo oh but ngachazi yakho. I also have touched on alcohol and substance abuse. We again Manikwan. Don't do not drink alcohol. Do not take drugs. You know what I'm saying? I think on food is I can be engaged. You know what I'm saying? We're sitting. Oros, yes, very good. And water. We have seen that practitioners from all over the country are embracing this program that we are unveiling here in the province of Eastern Cape. Because of the understanding of the pressures that they have been to, they appreciate it. And siyazinga ngoSilapha. We, over and above the fact that sifuna ni phone, ni SMS, ni WhatsApp to these numbers, we want you to utilize these ambassadors so that they can share their own stories. As you understand, Nina, as precious Nibuzo, share them with us so that we can help you. We also intend to make further headways informed by the statistical evidence that we see in suicide is very rife amongst artists. Uba sibona indobana unzima ukusurvive kwexesha niphila kuzo. So raise your hand so that sikwazi ngesizulu kuthiwa kukunithakula. So sikwazi ukunisusa ningekade nintwiliseleke. Today, Zahara later on will be sharing with you guys her own journey, and this is her journey, but she wants to share it with you so that Nia's how has she survived and navigated in mistreatment, because njengoba nizizitars nje, we also understand into yobana niyahlekwa nokuhlekwa when you have made mistakes. We want them to share with you into yobana xa sele kuyekile ukukhalivuzela ama-gents, xa sele kuyekile ukuthi xa uhla estage uqhwatyelwe ngumntu wonke, when no one wants to wear the dress oyithungileyo kodwa before unxibisa wonke umuntu oyi-celebrity, when the noise has died down, because the noise dies down, how do you then live on beyond the moments when you would have been popular? And I am sure Pope Vianney is going to share his story as well. This is the type of resilience we want to share with you and instill in the artists and sports practitioners. We want to give you mental capability of a special kind that is going to resist the pressures and that you will be able to shine and showcase your talent. But also, siyayazi uba ii-artists ngabantu abakwaziyo ukuimagina izinto. Sinengxaki ye-GBV. Kukhona ii-coaches ezimolesta abantwana. Sithatha abantwana njengabazali, sibabeke at the hands of coaches ukuba mabasincedise for their specialized skill, bavume abantwana bethu. But what they do is that they groom them even sexually. If zikhona ezo zinto ziyenzeka kwezi academies sinifaka kuzo, if zikhona ezo zinto ziyenzeka kwezi clubs nipractice kuzo, sanukufela ngaphakathi ngathi niziflask. A lot of artists will tell you, but for me to get a role, I've had to sleep with someone. Those things are happening, and we want to say that is gender-based violence. And Gaddafi gave me goosebumps when he was rendering the poet. Because amadoda acinga uba anelungelo wokuba abe zingangamsha phezu kwethu. Of course, there are females who are violent towards their partners or their children. But predominantly we see males ezifanele uba zinoxanduva lokusikhusela zisithande zisingonyamele. How do you beat up your spouse or your partner ade abe yiphampu? Uthi umbulale in some instances, umfake esuitcase. So we want to say to you guys, xa sibona ezo zinto zisenzeka, sixeleleni, we are here to give you a platform to actively engage, educate each other and empower each other so that sikwazi uba sincedisane nani going forward. Sendizawuhlala phantsi kebawo ke, ndifuna ukuthi kuni sebenzisani iSilapha Wellness Program. But secondly, support iKhulikane kwanele, ngesixhosa besizawuthi kwanele zontsundu kwanele. And I know about into bangabana, pardon me if ndithethe apha naphaya, ndithethe today is just about sharing experiences. Abanye abantu are hesitant to get out of relationships because besithi bazothini abantu. And because they want to protect their partners. March out, man. Walk away. It's not worth your life. It's not worth your life. In essence, what we are here to do is to say, Sikhona, talk to us. Nyengeza noba kupha ku-inbox okanye ku-WhatsApp. You can even be anonymous. Reach out for help. There is nothing insurmountable. We are here as government to help you. There are ambassadors, there are those who have walked before you, who are willing to say, hold on to me. I am your big sister, I am your big brother, I am your peer, I can be able to help you. So in essence, we are gathered here today to share experience. And I'm hoping that later on when we have breakaway sessions, you You are not going to be afraid to share your stories. Nokuba awusharing esakho, ushare sentshomi yakho, but those that need help must raise their hands. And if you see anything that is untoward, please help your fellow brother and sister. Sizohamba ke manje siye kwi-Olympics, kwi-Commonwealth Games. We wish all the athletes from the province of the Eastern Cape very well, and we know into ngabana zizawukwenza ezidume ngazo. But if you are an artist in the province of the Eastern Cape, brag a little bit. If you are an artist in the province of the Eastern Cape, sikhathele kukhethela umubango, sithethe ondayi singabaziyo, kufuneke ukreme okokoko because ii-lines zakho zezesisuthu. We are calling upon you, ukuba there's going to be 3 telenovelas in the province. Details, Xhosa telenovelas. Details will be elaborated, so details will be elaborated on Thursday. So we want to see possible TV screens province telling our own story the best way we know how in our own language. If you can't take, if you have got, in fact, you have got to take away something home. This is your homework. Enjoy. Whatever you do, enjoy it. Do not take any pressure. There's only one fezeka and xa nawe aviwe, ndilikhumbulile igama lakhe, aviwe wangolosha. Xa nawe aviwe ubale ku-800 meters in the world stage, know and understand that there's only one aviwe. And if you can't enjoy what you are doing, you will never perform. So enjoy your life, do not take any pressure. If you, obviously we all need help. Now I need to uncediswa, and when I do, when I don't know, I ask. When I want help, I shout out and say, I need help. Do not take substances, do not bite more than you can chew. If there's 3 gigs and you can only take 2, kindly say so. Because when you are depleted, households will perform at the following day. So never take more than you can be able to chew. Don't take pressure. Enjoy your craft. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. It is God's purpose. It's God's purpose. You are here on earth to fulfill that mandate. So enjoy it. Do not take pressure. If for whatever reason there's pressure, Silapha, call on us. If you are being abused, call on us. If you are abusing other people, stop it. Enkosi kakhulu.
But when you do it with passion, Okay, so that's the second book that I'm writing. Doing it for passion. Yeah, so much else done. The time when I'm saying calling naturally, the parent being shy right through because I was the PRO with passion. And the culture and passion went down to coaches and players. Passion. Passion. Yenzeke passion or uyeke. So that's the philosophy I'll be selling in my next book. Mamtolo, you will have a copy of that book. Passion. If we all did whatever we do with passion, the world would be a better place. For it is passion that will make sure that where there's talent, there's also discipline. Because in the absence of discipline, talent can be toxic. Izobulala talent, discipline ingekho. I can talk for hours when I talk on that subject. Whitney Houston, very talented. Mariah Carey, where's Whitney Houston today? Where's Mariah Carey today? Mariah probably had 20% of the talent that Whitney had. But Mariah had 80% of the discipline that Whitney did not have. The extraordinarily talented ones, apparently. Is there anybody talented in the house? Yeah, I got bad news for you. If you're talented and you don't have discipline, your talent is gonna kill you. Patomapani said so. It's gonna kill you, my baby. It's gonna kill you. Guaranteed, it's gonna kill you. There was a time in the province, where's Vito? There's Vito. There was a time in the province and in South Africa when we had just about the best junior fly, Fuyani Nene, Etinaha, Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy, the Bashabon, Ashalom Tatare Wonke, Wonder Boy. Bashalom Baby Jake 3 times, Wonder Boy. But you know what they did at Tinach? Oh, Wonder Boy, when we went back home, Naya Pussy. And Wonder Boy drank his career away. The difference between Wonder Boy and Baby Jake is that Wonder Boy had 80% talent, 20% discipline. Baby Jake had 20% talent, 80% discipline. And Baby Jake conquered the world. I am serious, young people, when I talk about talent and discipline. Your talent is going to kill you in the absence of discipline. If you're an athlete, an extraordinary one. If I were Mfundis, because I'm a question of Susama podium while I'm talking, because I'm busy panel. Susama podium, I'm a cheetah. And remove podium. Let's change the stage while I'm talking. Okay, let's change the stage. Come and remove the podium. If I were Mfundis, I would talk about Samson. Samson, who was very talented. He didn't have the discipline required with it. Samson, it's in the Bible. You've never killed a lion when Samson killed a lion. You've never killed 1,000 men with the jaw of a donkey. With the jaw of a donkey in your hand, and you kill 1,000 men. He had the craziest talent ever, but he didn't have the discipline that must go with it. Cheriaki, when you don't have the discipline, when you don't know the places to go to, if you are a talented person in there, a talented person in the house. If you are a talented person, let me give you bad news. You're going to live a boring life. What is Patko saying? You got to know who to Pumana Boban, who to Niapi, who to Muyani. And the Canida, who to Jandoni, who Selandoni, who Pusa Ini. That's a boring life. It is a life of an extraordinary talent. Because your mission on earth is to design things in your mind as you execute. How about talented? Oh my goodness. Is there anybody talented in the house? How about talented? They are designers. As they do what they do, they stand in the place of God. To be extraordinarily talented is a divine appointment. You do things that make people say, wow. Can I talk to anybody talented here today? When you're talented, you don't drink everything they drink. You say, just like Oledilga Samson Banchela Batlongan, no scissors should come to his head. I don't know what scissor. It may not be a physical scissor, but I don't know what scissor. What scissor? Ideologically, I don't know what scissors come to your head. Can be daughter, can be jail. I don't know. Can be this that which you drink. There is or that which you eat. There is something that is going to shave your hair. If you're talented and you're not careful, it's going to shave your hair. We will bury you with your talent before time. You won't make time. There was a time, I had the pain for all the 6 years at Kaiser Chiefs. I had the pain of looking after Chabubule. I would wake up at 1 o'clock, my house was in Naturena. They would knock at my house and they would say, Ushapul, Simbona la Echablan, Mowa next day. And I would wake up and drive to Jablani or Wanexay, take him, put him in my house. He would eat what we eat. He would drink what we eat, what we drink. But thank God, because God is a God of second chances. Those of you that have sort of messed it up, let me tell you something, it's never too late. You can still come back. He came back. Though he could not play 2010 FIFA World Cup, he was the most brilliant midfielder to play 2010 FIFA World Cup. He missed that opportunity because his talent didn't have the discipline required. But guess what? He got another chance. He came back as a TV analyst. And he will get more second chances. So don't mess up your talent, but guess what? I got the good news. If you mess it up and you realize and you change your ways, you will get another second chance. Are there talented people in the house? Let me get Iskim Sanige to come on stage. I need to create an arc of these chairs. Somebody help me here. I want to sit on this one. Hold on, mama. I'm going to sit on this one. Let's have that arc there for the rest of the people. An arc of these ones, yes. An arc of these ones. As I introduce. A big round of applause. Don't forget, guys, when you're on stage, you'll be able to see the video on the other screens. Okay, now I want to bring you the record-holding, 13-time defending former IBF champion of the world, junior featherweight champion of the world, Oyani Hafiz. I'm going to bring you Lord Wewai, Jujula, Holy Wewai. Okay. Yes, okay, all right. uyeza namsathintathinta i-makeup. Imtshele ukuthi i-makeup akusi makeover. Asheshe abuye. Okay, let me bring you on stage. Let me bring you on stage. Let me bring you on stage. Ah, ayike. Sengiyalwa ke manje sengiphethe ama-captain wamabhokobhoko. Lalela, phethe ama-captain wamabhokobhoko abosisi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mandisa Williams. Phethe abo-Francois Pinaro Masegasi. Captain wamabhokobhoko. And then, listen, umamdolo udla ngamandla, kazazi umuntu adethu. Okay, unambitha kampuna iyona mbitha iyona. Iyona mbitha iyona. Yeah, that's right. So there is Nambita as well. This one we're going to need to reposition you. And I'm going to find you another spot. So I'm going to be sitting right behind there. Technical guys, please help me. Can Sisi colleague here? Can she colleague here? She's from the take a long walk to freedom. Long walk to freedom. And Tom and Toringa here. Right here. And your assistant, bring your chair and sit over here. That's right. Beautiful. Okay. Now, while we're waiting for Uzahara, I'm going to show you that video. While we're waiting for Umazet, I'm gonna show you a video. All right. I'm trying to complete that with say TV presenter, Cosmo Life, CCD TV. As I was teaching to go over from Luna Williams, at Mina, I'm hoping for my belly comes. Now let's show you the video. Ladies and gentlemen, please check this out.
We are continuing to identify opportunities to develop more platforms which will help to alleviate the challenges faced by the sector. The aim of the Silapha program is to create platforms that will focus on addressing emotional, physical, psychological, and mental well-being of all artists and athletes.
So whenever we're talking now, we're talking both artists and athletes who seem to have more or less similar challenges. The question is, who heals the healers? When they are out there and having all the challenges they have, who do they look up to?
Abanye sebangene ebungomeni, abanye i-depression, indaba ukuthi umuntu akazi ukuthi uzohlala. Kakhulukazi ngendaba ye-corona. Njengamnje ngisengimdala kithi. Manje ama-mobilities ami awangivumeli ukuthi ngiyoshuta noma ngithanda. So isilapha izaselapha.
It's a great day for us when we are hosting the minister on his first rollout of a program, Silapha. A very good program which is looking at the well-being of artists.
I say to my fellow women, do not let a man think it's okay to lay their hands on you. It starts with you. Let us do this for our boy children to know right from wrong. What is acceptable and what is not acceptable behavior towards women and children.
The last objective is to educate those with a desire to enter into the industry about how to deal with and overcome the challenges of being in the creative and sporting industry. And last but not least is to empower practitioners with information on how to own their craft through and through.
This program
It's very good because it is an intervention, and you can never take it light because it's going to assist us as government that a person is better than where he or she was last year.
Part of the reason why I champion for the work that Silapha does is because of what I've witnessed and what I've experienced. Silapha has services that speaks to that. Yes, you might hit a ditch. Yes, you might find yourself in a challenging, difficult time. Yes, you might find yourself not being able to cope and manage. But who can you trust to talk to about some of those challenges? Because your publicist is the one who can leak it to the newspaper. Your manager could be that. Your colleagues, sometimes even your own family. So maybe on the other line, when you talk to a professional who's obligated by the Silapha program to talk to you about that. And at the end of the day, this is about your talent and how you can own that through and through. How are you able to manage that?
Being an ambassador of Silapha was a blessing. It was identified that I speak on mental wellness. And Silapha, what it stands for is wellness, the wellness of artists all around. We're talking mental wellness, we're talking substance abuse management, we're talking lifestyle management, financial management. We are talking legal matters. So it covers all of that. So there are brand ambassadors that are involved with each pillar. Each pillar has an ambassador. My pillar is lifestyle management.
We saw a lot of players losing confidence in the finance. We saw a lot of players losing houses in the finance. We saw a lot of players losing friends. They get to belong. We saw players, killing themselves, committing suicide, just because they don't have money anymore. So if we can teach our players today, Oguchi, these privileges, they're not going to stay for long.
There's a lot of contractual thing, paperwork going on, and you're for it. Majority of players are to that level because and then we just sign, and the next thing, boom, things are really the way no expect day, but the contract they're binding. Even some have a good money, there's no indication behind that good money. Lifestyle, we need a serious specialist to help this boy. When we start earning this money, this is what you need to leave. Silapha is one department and all those specialists like social worker and other things. And now it happened, I got exposed and I was engaged, and then that's how at least I managed to rectify or self-correct.
Through music, we heal. Through running on that sports track, we bring people together. And even through some of the darkest times when you're not on stage and when people are not screaming your name, and when you're not getting those gigs coming in, social pressures, and when people don't necessarily see when the camera's not on you, who heals you? Silapha has definitely come. They're here and they've come to heal. Silapha makes me feel like I'm taken care of. There's a caretaker that's helping me own my talents and helping me flourish, because I have a routine now when I wake up every morning. I know what I'm doing. And when I feel a bit, tricky, whether it's mentally or physically, I always have this caretaker that I can simply WhatsApp on my phone or inbox and to the rescue. Silapha. So shout out to Silapha for that.
Silapha has a double meaning. It means we are here for you. It means Silapha, we heal you. Hashtag own your talent.
We are accessible through the following platforms. Our toll-free call center number is 0800 007 088. But of course, you can SMS wellness to 48445. Our WhatsApp number is 060 709 7839. Our website is www.silapha.org.za. But of course, if you're with the cool kids, you can hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Wow. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing. I like the hashtag. So if you happen to be posting anything, actually, did I tell you that you can connect to the Wi-Fi here today? Did you get the password? Let me give you, no. I'll be so nice to you. Not only am I, giving you refreshments and whatever. I'll give you the Wi-Fi code as well. It is on the pillars. It is on the pillars. But in a nutshell, please take it. Please take it. The Wi-Fi code, the password. The code will appear on your phone as Premier, and then conf 2207. Okay, check on the pillars. Check on the pillars so that we can all vuvuzela that hashtag. Hashtag suicide is not. Hashtag suicide is not. Now I want to get a feel of the house. Hashtag suicide is not. Thank you. It's not. Suicide is definitely not the solution. If abefundisi bebekhona bebezositshela ukuthi should you take your life ngenye imini on judgment day you will answer for having murdered. But abekho abefundisi. So we will leave their perspective. Suicide is not the solution. All right, so that hashtag is serious. South Africa, for the first time, has a hashtag in the entire world that speaks to suicide. Suicide is not the solution. Hashtag Silapha, hashtag Silapha, Spaya, Gabi, Pesha, we're here, but we want to get there. We're here, we want to get there. Ladies and gentlemen, my panel on stage, I'm going to ask Salome, grab a mic. I've got some mics here, Salome. Keep one and give one to Gigi because she'll be next. Salome, ladies and gentlemen, is a therapist. Salome, I'd love you to talk to us. I'm not blocking the view of anybody. If you can all see Salome. Salome, I need you to talk to the sports stars that are here and the talented artists that are here. There is an outcry on whether or not we're able to preserve talent. Okay, is it on? All right. We posted on here. Please just make sure that it's unmute at the desk. It is, okay. Let's change it. Let's get another one. That one. Oh, that one. Is it good? Okay, this one is on load shedding. It's fine. It's pretty good. All right. Okay. I need you to talk to why, as a therapist, your presence is important here today.
Molweni, Eastern Cape, Molweni, East London. How Molweni? My name is Salome Nyaku. I am a social worker, a therapist from NBC Wellness. And we stand for Silapha. We are actually the ones who are running the Silapha program, call center. So not only am I here as a therapist today, but I am here as the call center, the Silapha call center manager. And I am here basically today to say to everyone because, well, DDG and MEC, they've said quite a lot of what I was going to say, so thank you for that. So I come to only add on what they have said, which is the psychosocial part of things, which is what we also cover that you might not be aware of. And by psychosocial, I mean emotional support in terms of, but not limited to, issues such as stress, anxiety. We've got mental health now, which is on the rise, where people are struggling a lot with depression, and as the theme says, suicide is not the solution. They've saw it fit to term as we go and launch provincially to name it at that, because we've seen the struggle, especially with the artists, when it comes to depression and matters of mental health. So we also go as further as dealing with your personal issues,
be it marital issues, you have issues with your children at home, work-related stress. We know that as artists, it's been rather difficult. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Yes, especially during COVID, because you guys are self-employed, if I may put it. You don't get a stipend like ABC, unfortunately. So it has proved to be quite difficult, where now you are also experiencing financial distress and struggles, amongst other issues. So those are all the issues that we are here as the Silapha to say, come and talk to us instead of going next door to Umamkize, who will only tell Kumalo of your issues. That we are here to provide that confidential space for you to come and debrief, to come and share your situations or struggles in life, where you can speak to a professional and trained therapist on the other line of the phone. We have, as mentioned, social workers, psychologists, we have the legal people, financial advisors. Those don't come cheap, right? Yes, so Silapha is here to say, here is the service at your disposal. Yours is just to dial the number and make that contact and reach out. And the MEC did say, guys, let's be ambassadors when we leave here to tell others who couldn't make it, of the program and what it offers. And this is something that most would say is for white people, and I beg to differ. And most, at least now, we see in our call center, Mr. Patko, there's quite a lot of calls that are coming in, and there's quite a lot of lives that have been saved in terms of suicide, where we get a call anytime, any hour of the day, which is the purpose of our call center, 24/7, as the PDG said, 365 days a year. So it has been there, it has proved to actually be a positive impact that people have received well. So please use that service, even if it's for your immediate family members who are going through the most. Your colleagues that are not here, that you've seen that they're struggling, please give them that number. And I don't know if I can take this moment maybe just to ask everyone to take out your phones. Please take out your phones. I know they said put them on silence, but I think we can still take them out. Yes, can we please save this number? It's 0800, are we dialing? 0800 00 7088. Let me say it again, 0800 00 7088. Are we saving? Let's add it as the Silapha Wellness. Okay, so let's put that as one of the emergency speed dials, if I may put it, because life is that critical. So we need to put our lives at the front, right? Okay.
Maybe on the same profile we could add the WhatsApp number as well. It's 060 number, 060607, and then the last 4 digits.
070.
Yeah.
709.
709.
7839.
7839. That's the number. We can add that on the same profile. 060 709 7839. Lovely. Okay, so you save both numbers on the same profile. The Silapha Wellness. Please save this service before I move on to the next panelist. This service is wonderful. It gives one access to professional services, which otherwise would have been bloody expensive. But do they access these services, artists and sports stars, for free?
Yes, that's the DTG has mentioned.
This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part
that I thought when I did not hear your hand of applause. This is the part that you probably missed. This is the part that you probably missed, that you access these services which you would have otherwise paid a big bill for. But you access them for free. Okay? Access them for free. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Will there be somebody that says, who are you? I don't know you. I've never seen you on TV. There won't be those kind of things. If you say, I'm a sports star from in Tanzania, I'm a boxer from in Tanzania, it's enough. Lovely. Another big round of applause. Wow. Okay. Gigi, I'm going to move on next to you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting to the crux of where talent resides. Not that you're not talented. You're very talented in what you do. But I'm now moving to the creative. I'm moving to the creative, okay?
Thank you.
I think let's give Salome a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Salome, you're the good news bearer. When you leave this place, all the artists and sports stars here will say, the good news bearer. Thank you so much. Okay. Gigi, let me move to you. All right. Your mic is on?
Yes.
Lovely. Okay. Let me move to you. I love the fact that in the panel, ladies and gentlemen, is a mixture, age-wise, of some of those that are standing on the verge of being called legends, and some of those who have wowed us in the 2000s. Not that Gigi is a 2K, no, but she has wowed us just yesterday, and she has wowed us now. The pressures that come with it. The pressures that come with it, the pressures of the fans, of the social media, and whether or not you found yourself committing errors which are unforced errors from a tennis point of view, unforced errors, own goals from a football point of view, whether you found yourself, either tempted to or committing those unforced errors, please talk to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll present to you, Gigi.
I'm so glad you didn't say Gigi like this is so. Sanbonan, Vijay, I would like to just say that I'm super honored to be here with such legends. My mom knows my idea, of course. I do too, but it just means so much for me to be on the panel and representing a lot of voices. So to start off, I am a graduate. I graduated at Wits University in anthropology and media. I went forward with my honors and masters in anthropology, but I kind of found myself rapping.
I think we owe you a big round of applause with that academic achievement. I'll tell you why. While we groom you as a sports star, we also encourage you not to drop school on the way. And so let's give that a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
And I think it is quite daunting being a young person in the age of social media, where you kind of create an avatar, an emoji on Snapchat or whatever it is to represent the person that you are, right? So everything that you are on social media kind of becomes an extension of who you are in the real world. Somebody actually said to me, like, I don't know how you do it. People troll you all the time, and you fall down and you still get up. And I'm always like, I'm on my Layla Ali, I'm on my Muhammad Ali. I'll always get up because there's a young girl in the hood from Soweto like me who got up and they kept swinging. The pressures are real, I think. And I always say to, our elders, no offense, dog, but, our struggles are very different now as, the youth. Abazali bethu went through his khathi where, they were kind of fighting for ikusasa lethu, apartheid as we know it. All these kind of things where we were only given according to our color, not according to our capacity, right? So I never would have been a Wits graduate doing, anthropology and sitting next to, I don't know, a Garrick. That's the best name I could come up with. And now we find ourselves in a situation where there are no jobs. creatives are not taken seriously. And I remember this because my mother is a nursing sister. She worked at Baragwana for the longest of times, Baragwana Hospital. She did numerous, copious amounts of shifts. So that I go to a good school, and I did go to Model C good school, but I was still the girl from the hood taking taxis to school every day. And for me, I think the chat needs to be that we need to be honest as the youth, right? We are unemployed, creatives. Sorry, going back to my point was that my mother struggled to get me through my Bachelor of Arts degree because nobody takes the arts seriously. Nobody takes sports seriously. You almost feel like you're this minstrel, It's only cool when you were doing the Waka Waka with Shakira in 2010, and then Sia wins now, and he's like the first black captain. And you're sitting there, and you're like, this is actually a God-given talent. I often allude, our talents to, it's almost like a spirit that possesses you, right? When you're in your role, when you're playing, when you're in the ring, whatever you're doing, and it's almost like the spirit overcomes you. And this is a spirit that you definitely know that your peer could never, this is a force that your peer could never even kind of be in the same terrain with you as. I don't know if it makes sense. And I often think that my main prerogative as a young, youthful person in South Africa is for us to get talking, the pressures that come with social media. Guys, I'm going to tell you for real, the Louis Vuitton bags are a lie. The big cars are a lie. First class is a lie. I was actually telling leadership over here, I'm the artist that commented about her beautiful headband. And I was like, I think 12 people contributed to the bag I have because I don't believe in buying labels because there's so many other things I need to be doing. Just as a young black person, my little cousin is looking to, get the kind of education that I have. My wigs are free. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. My wigs are free. You can check on my social media. I try to make sure that everything is free, as a brand and as a company, because the pressures that come with trying to keep up economically with what everyone else is doing, it's not even true. It's not even a tangible situation. And I'm so sad that, we get to a point where young people are trying to keep up, mantombazana doing things to compromise themselves to try and, the blesser effects. Guys are starting to get into the wrong things. We were hearing about, suspicious deaths because they got into the wrong circles and they were selling the wrong things. And
Do young female musicians also get that kind of pressure?
Absolutely.
The blesser effect.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we are not ghosts. We see what's going on. Last week there was someone, the week before there was somebody else, and there's a very popular blogger actually from here in the Eastern Cape who highlights these things. I'm not going to name him because he didn't pay me to name him and promote him, but yes, there are absolutely those kinds of journeys that we're going through as young people. And all I'm saying is that the discussion needs to be legit. As our parents were saying, we hear your struggles, but ours are like this. The idea that it's a very painful thing to accept, where your parents will tell you that, oh, at 20 something, I was already buying a house, I already had my car, I already moved out. And we all know, guys, we've put out CVs, we put out this and that, and things just don't come back the way we need them to come back. Worse for entertainment and sports. The hardest time I had was during COVID, sitting there, and I was like, you know what, let's all die. Like, it's fine, guys. Like, let's all get finished, because I don't understand how we're actually going to come back from this as, sports and arts and culture. It's impossible. The stadiums are closed. We're not producing their masks all the time. They're COVID. And guys, can we discuss how expensive those COVID tests were? So now you're thinking to yourself, I need to go to this audition, but I need to produce this thing for 800 rand. And 800 rand is a struggle for me, So, I mean, I think I'm the perfect example when it comes to that mental.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
But before we talk about that suicide attempt, just we'll wrap up your 2 minutes. I know formally you got formal education from an arts point of view, but on the way, were you exposed to any financial management?
Absolutely, with Silapha, definitely Silapha. I'm lucky that I haven't really gotten into that kind of situation where my mother's very savvy when it comes to money, but I can't say that that's everyone else's story, you know. So being able to, I see the financial, but for me it's about the mental health because it's a real thing for young people. Ricky passed on. The week before he passed on, he was speaking to me. He seemed like he was okay. Bianca calls and it's a different story. Dumi Kleidi last week, you also what happened with Dumi Kleidi, he had just released a song with Nadia. So it's a real thing. And as young people, we're told that, you know, the minute you're vulnerable, you're weak. The minute you're not keeping up with the standards, you're weak. So for me, I'm here in the name of mental health under Silapha. And I just really want us to come out and claim it. It's not a white man's problem. You're not attention seeking. It's a real thing. It affects people. It grows over time. It's hereditary. There's so many things we'll go into, obviously, when we have our breakout sessions. But yeah, let's get talking as the youth. We do have problems.
I know you and Ricky spoke about this one.
Wow.
No, we'll talk about that some other time. But suicide. Let's talk suicide.
Suicide, you know, I just spoke on it. I did have my own attempts, my own situation, and I do believe that Silapha was created and tailored probably for somebody like me. I think there was definitely somebody sitting around that table with my life story who decided that this was something that was meant to affect my life.
What is it that you saw as symptoms? Okay, I'm symptomatic. What did you?
Definitely, you know, anxiety attacks. You don't like being in large groups of people. You are, you know, just coping with being on your own, sweating, like just not feeling comfortable with a lot of things, wanting to be alone, not wanting to see people, you're crying for no reason, you can't really put your hand, like, you know, they say, Ukalila, and you're just like, I don't know, it's just a lot, you know, yeah, so.
And the turnaround came through Silapha.
Absolutely.
Wow, big round of applause. We love you. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And anybody that's here on stage as a panelist, ladies and gentlemen, is a signature of hope. The people that you see in front of you here today, they are a signature of hope. They have experienced a turnaround somewhere, particularly from those who have testimonies about suicide, about being suicidal at some point. Okay, Gigi Lamaine, thank you so much. Give me another big round of applause. I'm going to come to the 13 times world champion. Okay, I'm going to come to Uhlati. Sorry? Yeah.
There's a song, I said, listen. Boxing ring, you got me, you told me, I'll never fail. Win or lose, you got me, win or lose, you got me, win or lose, you got me, 'cause I've got an eye of a tiger.
Ladies and gentlemen, Umulelwa doing the East London Monty Buffalo City effect. We are honoring and Kati, you may be seated, sir. We wanted you to stand just because of Jonah and Umulelwa. Umulelwa, you want Jonah? Now you have Jonah. Now Jonah. I'm going to say, you have more. Order. Artists, the champions, please. Thank you. Shati, I am very humbled at the fact that on the 20th of August, 1994, a few months after we voted Madiba, I was at Carousel, and there was Shati in the ring, fighting Kennedy McKinney. It was the greatest 12-rounder that I've seen in my life. All the way to Shai Fleet, ringside for a shot. And he went on and on and on. And he is here today. Shati, some of us battle with talent management.
Fundini ubukele mna umzekelo we-talent management. Talk to us. Kothethe nathi. Abanye nazi boxers lapha endlini, nazi champions lapha endlini. Ezinye zi-SA champs azikabizwa world champs yet. They are aspiring. Ezinye zi-world champs zilapha endlini. Talk to us. Kancole kakuhlathi.
Okokuqala mandizibulisele honorable MC and your dignitaries that are around you. It's nice to be surrounded by beautiful ladies.
And whoever
Yeah. Ndiyazibulisela ke ngale mva kwempina namhlanje. Igama lam ke xa besekutshiwo uViyani kaBhungu. They used to call me the beast. Bayering. And ke naye esi skin sibonayo sasijika kantseringi. Bese sinye skin. Kutheni le nto silapha? It's because sizo-equipha nina amadoda. Young talented fighters zelizwe lethu. We are proud nge-country yethu. Suicide is not the solution. Sure. Because I used to open with check. Yeah, chip down, that's up. Yeah. I grew up in Tanzania, but I was born up in Etangeni village. Then before forced removal, and then the Disabazalpa, in Tanzania. For some reason, engayaziyo ne-arrangement yayo, then sekesohlala ezilalini, soxholiswa ezilalini with my younger brother ke nokuba ke ayo position yam, but ke ndibone uZolani, the last born tete, ne-manager yakhe uthi mna bengena apha.
Man baphi? Man last
Yeah. Because we are proud of him. Wow. He is the one.
Wow. Okay, Shati, I think, and I'm glad that I think what we will do before the closing remarks, sakasi break. Iboleka phambi uba uzazi nto break. Sizawubreaka ne. Sizawubreaka ne. Gaddafi, sizawubreaka sani. Display zonke champions on stage. This morning. We'll do that. Okay.
Bendisatsho ke for some reason ke the-arrangement abazali sakhe sohlala ezilalini. Why I'm saying this, ngifuna izinzele into apha kuni. Learn from it, digest it, and learn from it. Uyabo? Umama esasihlaliswe kuye, apparently, I don't know about him now, but thina xa kufuneke siye esikolweni ngelo xesha sawuhlaliswa phaa. Yabona mos iqaba ngakusasa ezilalini. And then ulapha kabantwana ke, then mna nobrother wam abantu ke they always ask me, why man usoloko umthanda kangaka umnina wakho, you know, nasoze nixabane. My brother Moses is 51 years old now. Yeah. So thina ke sawukhela ibhakethi lamanzi abanayo, sigalelwe ngalo, funeke sikhawuleze sihlambe ke because siza esikolweni every day in the morning during the week ngexesha lesikolo. Then abantu abantwana bona benzelwe amanzi ashushu. Ndiyasiwa ke apho ke.
Sure. Fast forward.
Yes. But ke sabuyiswa ke kulo arrangement njalo. We came back. sakhula ke abemdantsane. Then i-boxing ke siqale ngamakhamba mostly. Susenzana ndawo zitsolo sizibulale, then siqalise ukubethana. Akunyukwa ke ngelo xesha.
Sure.
But ke fast forward again. Dilwile kakhulu.
Just for the sake of everybody here.
Yes.
Amakamba, the shake box. They commercialized the robot in the box. The shake. Amakamba, when it's empty, they used to use them as gloves.
Sifuna ke majita ke niyazi ne bonke sport nonke apho ngaphakathi. It's not easy. Ne? But funeka ube nala mentality strong. Uyabo? It's not easy and ukuphumelela akukho ngomso. Uyabo? It takes time, but at the same time it is up to you. We are here tomorrow. I need to be on this point, but you guys have to appreciate this day. Because now tell us so that we share these things now. Or sapila. Boxing like but that tell is a professional 1980.
So please.
1980s. Yeah. John. Yeah. I will tell you. Kukumahluko ukukhula ekunzimeni ne. Kube kumahluko ukuhlupheka. Ne? But it's colors and digital control. My first fight in 1987, as a professional boxer, I fought for 21 rand. Ne? 1987. And that 21 rand on that weekend, yes, remember, my mother was a domestic worker. We saw him once a month. Figure Friday, Sunday, my father this side is suffering from asthma. Yeah, you know, no sister. But I became a breadwinner. At a young age.
You don't know the pressure. This is a pressure. That kind of pressure is we breadwinner all of a Sunday. We breadwinner. And family, that you needed to avoid because also under pressure. Ulale ungeyo breadwinner, so why breadwinner? With 21 rand ngela xesha bethu na 1987 ngophuma isonga, phuma paraffin, phuma isepa. 21 rand no milli, 21 rand in 1987. Give him a big round of applause. He was very rich. Okay, in your last 2 minutes video, how you handled the pressure?
It never came into my mind, the pressure.
Okay.
To be honest with you, because umuntu ondaziyo ngoku owayendazi kudala ndisele lihlobo wayendazi mana katshintshi.
Oh yes. You were humble then, you are still humble now.
Exactly.
Because abanye bethu, you make 21 rand, you fight energy, you change the walk. Awusabulisi naselalini, awusabulisi naselokishini, awusawazi nama-oleta asekhasi, awusawazi nama-oleta aselokishini. Uhlanyiswa 21 rand. Can I tell you something? Thank you, Vito. Give Vito a big round of applause. Can I tell you something? And I do touch on this in my book, The Price and Price of Greatness. Vito, prices that he had to pay for his greatness. He's one of the greatest boxers ever to come out of East London, Eastern Cape, and South Africa. But he had to pay a price. You pay a price for that. It's all those uncomfortable things. So let discomfort occur. It is the price you pay for your greatness. But there's a price also. I'm a critically when you wore that IBF belt for the first time. In 30 seconds, what did it mean to you? to wear the IBF belt for the first time. You paid the price, but now the prize come. I'm a criticate, and you are crowned as the IBF Junior Featherweight Champion of the World.
20th August 1994, made history to become the first boxer in the Democratic South Africa.
Wow, guys! Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Wow.
Yeah, to win a world title.
Abidun Kabir Nadido. Can I offer myself that we write your book? Okay, guys. That time. Baby Jake that time. You name them. But he became the first world champion in the democratic South Africa. Another big round of applause. Thank you, Guido. I'm gonna move now. I just need to move faster. If you're looking for a job, don't take my job. It's the bad one because you've got to manage time. Sometimes you've got to cut things to manage things. Okay, so this is a bad job that I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna move to Bulelwa. Loli Wawahi. I'm gonna move to Bulelwa. Mariri Paroshaman. Paroro Marismani. I'm humbled that I was one of the first radio presenters to break fast to play Uloliwe in 2011. One of the first ones in South Africa to play Uloliwe. That humbles me. And from Uloliwe, Sahara from Uloliwe, the road looked only one directional, this direction. Imani Kona to East London. In Sahara from Uloliwe, those of you that were there, it looked only one direction, up. Choga, take one son, up. And then in the few minutes I'm going to give you, maybe you will share with us, it's a carry up, give her a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
How many minutes?
You 5. All of us have 5.
This is what I want to do. Can we all stand up? Because, okay, I'm sorry, I always break protocols. Utata Mandela invited me at his place because he took me like a daughter. And that's the reason why when the national anthem was being sang and I was putting my hand here, because it meant something to me when he was doing that. So I'm sorry if I broke protocol, but I'll always do it. And this is a song that he loved. There's a city Galago Tikongo Osie Yani Zoginta Hangazo Okizize Mazizu Zero City is Hele Amadoro Olowe Lilize Emakako Obepa Dikwa Wena Ozitezitizo Okiri Aziluka Mola. This is for you guys that are upcoming, not only upcoming, you were born whatever you have, right? So this is the part of the song that you keep in mind. Yalango sisi singate ewe imuti asose zina wena Molweni bethu nani. I always say, like, since I wouldn't know who's here and I already saw MEC and like, let me just say protocol is observed. And no mamu kumkankas jabule. And we don't bakunya all the time. Whether, so this is what I'm gonna say to you guys. I'm gonna be very short because I'm gonna tell my story through my music. When the funyana na the noiba, ndidekelwa ibhaski ndisidlalela ikatara yam ikatara zandafundiswa ngumntu ogqiba nokucula zange ndayisikoleni somculo. It's because it's a gift and there's no one can take that away from you. You can actually even die tomorrow, no one can have your gift. So that what sustained me. When they found me and they took me to Joburg, and he was there. So when they found me, for me, I never prayed to be on TV. I never prayed to be on radio. What I knew, I wanted to inspire people. I wanted to give hope. So I remember 2014 when I felt like I bought this. I'm stepping on anyone's shoes. So I was like, Mama, dear go to come because when I said you work, you must put bread on the table. So when I came with my music, whether you like it or not, God showed up and showed himself who's God. So I wasn't gonna take that away from me. Lentu zelwe nayo. Ilentu iyo namhlanje kodwa ke ikuba uyeke or I'm gonna walk towards it, this one. That's the reason why I sang the song. Everything may be rushing on me. Everything may be too slow on me. But I'll be holding it down. I know where I am going. So everything doesn't say
So
I'm just thinking. Oh, B. Yeah, for example, sorry, ngicela uphakawe wena ubhekayo kahle ngicela uphakawe ngicela ukubuza something in life ufuna uba yintoni ufuna ufana naye andithi wenza ntoni ngaloo nto usebenza ejini hard ne. This is one thing I said to myself, I want people that inspire me. I wanted to inspire people but not to be them. Because the problem is you don't know how many challenges that he has fought to be there. But he can inspire you to be whatever you want to be in life. But you don't know how many challenges. As not for example, I won the awards. I'm still gonna stay now. Let me break a little bit. In South Africa, in Africa, I'm the only woman, who has ever won 9 awards on the same night. With one album. And they said, for me, I didn't know what that means, right? Even to be on TV, I didn't know what that means. Even to be on radio, sometimes I didn't want to do interviews because I don't know what that means. So the people were behind it. You must remember, even if you can have coaches, they are about their future. They are about their dream, not your dream. But when working under them, you are making their dream successful. They don't care, they can speak you down tomorrow if they want to. So you gotta win, find out, no one helped me. Throughout, no one when I was social media, which is something they want. Into kaThixo uyahlalelisa benokubani uyesu Kristu bambethelele emnqamle ezulu luhlazo kodwa ezobasindisa. Andithi?
Hallelujah. Zahara, I need to tap into something before we move to the next lesson.
Okay.
I need to tap into, in my book, Greatness, I talk about not greatness in the sense of having a double-story house, I said, taking the models before. I'm talking about that inner ability to turn around and overcome. I have seen you with challenges, Zako, overcoming. I need you to share with these athletes and these young up-and-coming artists, including Aliri, including Ludan, gifted Gangana. I need you to share with these artists how you will come as a turnaround, Zako. Remember, in him, it's suicide is not the solution. I need I had to do this. I had to do this to be able to turn around.
Into endazikhumbuza yona igama lami ngubani uZahara. It means a blooming flower. And when you can find it, you can only find it in the desert. You can Google it, you've got phones. You find it in the desert, I mean I bloom. All the time, when I'm in a desert, you can only find it in the desert. So I bloom, that means I hang on in there. Even though it was so hard, I didn't go betting good. Then there's a villain some good. Not all my mistakes is in Gabantu. Now to good. Because of indlela endiphatheke ngayo. Now andazazi uba ndiziphathe kanjani. Uyayibona loo nto? But I had to cut to Namgudi. Xa ndiphosa nakuba ndiyazigodi mdzibela ngawo. Xa uThixo ujina ke. Ndakandiqonda uba hey. Okay, I understand, but then but the money, that's a new contract says yes, but it led me to depression. Yes, to BP. Even though I never talked to BP and I'm young to have BP issues. So it led me there until I sang that song God. When you take out your shoe, one shoe, you toss it. I do some good things again. Bunga petanga rope, unga petanga leli. So all process as at least I born. Our processes will not have a parallel. I come down up to the I'm not going to show. Detach a system, deposit a pencil, but does not recognize, but still I come to Bonai. Only get a treasure, Amanda Wako's Kumbuna Garden to Batman Funa do that.
Good. Now, Zahara is strength circle. You have to go back to your strength. It's strength circle.
My strength is family.
It's strength circle. Kapanda be family. Ina apa phakathi kuwe istrength sakho was andinoxelela mna ngumsasazi kaloku istrength sakho Zahara was in the fact that you're a songwriter. So you had to dig deep.
This is what I was gonna say. If you listen from my first album to my last album, it's all about my life. If you want to understand my mental state, if you want to understand spiritually, if you understand emotionally where I'm at. For example, you check Uloliwe. I took myself when I did that song. I was thinking Uloliwe train, but think of all of us. We go in the same direction, right? But different destination.
Okay. Now, the point I'm making here, ladies and gentlemen, please note this. But I'll note this. Uzahara then had to dig deep to his strength of being a songwriter. Number one. Number two, she had to dig deep into ownership. How to pay a gift. You, the owner, how do we manage a mistake? Sako is your employee. Somebody say employee. Yes. So in manager yako, the employee yako. Okay. And so abantwana talent. Sitela ke musicians can men get doy bantwana. Sitela ke musicians. Na you question.
Talent that is there. Can you get into the ring?
If we talent manage, all talent managers here, this is a very sensitive subject that Zahara has raised. All talent managers are employees. Your boss is the talent. So Zahara then needed
needed to dig deep into his strength circuit, to write songs and sing. Number two, to own into yakhe. Ade aregister neyakhe inkampani xa ekhala ngokuthi akaphethwanga kakuhle. Now that becomes very important. With guidance, upper Silapha, they will help you ngezo zinto. I'm linking ke ngoku. I'm linking that recovery and I'm linking it with the wellness resource that we have brought to you. They will guide you on that. All right, give Zahara a big round of applause. Zahara again, the whole afternoon. I'm going to move next. I'm going to move to the next person.
All those of you that are here want to be artists, and it doesn't really matter whatever field you want to be. I know, even if I can say now, read your contracts. You won't be able because you're excited for that moment. But whatever happens, own your craft is your craft. Yeah. They found you, even if you're a soccer player, even if you're in basketball, whatever you are, they found you. They did not teach you. Own your stuff.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Now, ladies and gentlemen, she is. Spinach the price of greatness. And we uhlala wenze lento abanye abantu bacinga balihlazo. Uthatha ikatara udlala epavement bafika abantu bakuphosela ama-5 rand nama-2 rand. Usuka apho ke uspinach. And then she didn't know there were 9 awards waiting and more and more. And more.
52 awards.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, now, Mandy, I'm coming to you. Mandy Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Now, every Mandy is my comrades. No normal sport in an abnormal society, comrades. Because there were 2 types of Springboks in South Africa. That's called a Springbok. It was a Springbok. Samangama. Black Springbok. There was a stigma in that thing. But it was part of the struggle that we needed to make sure that athletes play together and win. So it is well represented not at international level, which is the Black Springboks. Next time. What you've done, Mandy, is beyond comprehension. To lead a national team of female athletes in a South Africa where at some stage, not only being black, but also being female, you were destined for oppression in 2 ways. 1, you're black. 2, you are a woman. Give her a big round of applause. I know that you have a long, fascinating history about your rugby. I just need to tap into those things that made you spring up there and sing the national anthem in countries abroad. It's fine. Oh, we don't know. It's fine. Son, how did you do this? How did it happen? And what challenges were there and how did you overcome?
Bona yena ke kakhulu ba Mrs. Makhubalo balombhoxo wethu kodwa ke anzi Sahara man you ayikwazi ndake nakuba icwecwe lokho ndizobuyela kanjanina
hayibo
ndizobuyela
namu Sahara besa
kamama sekhala kaka
Koduna
Manje Williams lo uMamondo
Khathi phaphi ngaye amawubele. Ngqongqoshe ucelekazi. Phake kulamlamba sekweleka. Uthi bhulu uthi chinza intwenye. Ndiyazingca ke bethu nani ngalamlambo ngoba hey unishapeile. Ndiyazingca Eastern Cape inishapeile. Ndiyazingca ngeBorder Rugby Union inishapeile. Ndiyazingca ngo-Department of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture. Eastern Cape indishapeile kakhulu. Cela sibaqhabele. Suicide, kuthiwa i-option, kuthiwa i-solution. Mna ke xa ndisiva ibali, bencinci nje ngokuzalwa kwam. Utata nguMillions Williams usekhona, akekho umama kuthiwa bekashiyekile. Utata kuthiwa yeba umntana wenkwenkwe, bezifacebook. Hey, piti. Hey, ngempahla ezidibeni white phayana efresh, ngasephezulu. Ye mani, lo mfazi akayenzayo yonke le nto. Ingaba ngulo mfazi bayanguye. Ngelaa xesha ke akufundwanga ke masikazazi uba nguye lo ungabethanga into ezishabashweke. Jika nazo ezaa zinto kukho lo mandisandini. Umandisa yintombi akayithandi yonke le nto. Ifama mna ndaveza suicide ngelaa xesha ndaphuma kumama. Ngoba lo mtshana zange accept. But ke wonwabile kuba yayingumntana wokuqala. Cut matter short, ndaqalisa ukudlala irugby. Ndisigqithile kwisikolo. Irugby ndidlala ejongilanga, under i-supervision yakoMr. Fuzi, ke ngelaa xesha kwiselapha khona nosisithobeka. Waselect usquad. Hayi, andiqali ngokuba ngumbumbu. Ndincinci ngoku. Mna bendimbumbu kakhulu nje ndiqala udlala rugby. Ndidlale lock, ndidlale 8. Eyona nto eyayisiza guys i-1 kuba nenkani. Kuba nenkani qha. Because ndikhula kungekho mama. Utata ngunoteksi. Then siyavuka ekuseni. I start phaa ka-8:20. Funeka siphumile sonke endlini ekhasi zam siyokupushela i-20. And uphuma phaa ngetshini because ungoshushu usezawulungiselela isikolo sizawuthini. Akho option.
Ezinganisana uthetha ngazo ayizizwe eziyazi zokuba disrespectful, zokuba krwada, zokuba arrogant. Zezangane is positive to be vigilant, to stop at nothing. Yabona laa ngane xa uyifuna into
uyayifuna ngenkani.
benenkani. Ngoba uyayifuna benenkani.
Senza isquad seBorder, sadlala nje a few fixtures. Kwakuthiwa kuqalwa ke national setup. Ucebisa ke noSasa noJuli bayenze national setup. 2 years down the line, 2004, selected ke 32 lady squad ezawutholisha 2-5 to England. Then zaqala new challenges because phayana as an athlete ke ngoku funeka ube in shape. Okokuqala i-discipline.
Okay.
Yebo, discipline ke ngoku ithi mandisa funeka ke ngoku sithobe about 15 kgs apha kulo.
And ugrond lawe.
Ndazalwa kwisikoti, ndandingakwazi ubelekwa ngumama. So ndikhula, not that ndikoti ukutya.
Mkhulu nje. Baphandle bathi ngudimfisi. Awudimfisi xawa. Dimfisi.
Uye ndakwadethi uwakundingi ndandingayithengele. Because eyayihlala umakhelwane ndandingangeni. So ndaphela ndingenayo.
Sana zasisithini ii-challenges zokudlala irugby at national level dlala belungu.
Okokuqala ufika umqeqeshi ngumlungu.
Okay.
Okanye u-assistant ngelaa xesha engumlungu. So ugushe ke igqiyazana lakhe coachayo because ke as a national coach basuka mos kwi-provincial setup. Then baze baselekte for i-national setup and then kukho igqiyazana lakhe ke ngokalugushileyo lidlala 8. Sendibona nangoku ndiluzile at least noba 8-7 kgs. Ndiyabona ndiyafuna uyenza le nto. So athi lo mqeqeshi kum mandisa after lunch ufuna ukubona sure andoyiki ingxaki yam. That's my ndingathi is not strength. Mna ndoyiki. Iba khona laa ndawo ithi rhip but andoyiki. So ndithi sure sidibane nyhani. Athi ndifuna undixelele ngeposition yakho. Si-requirements wena ukwazi ukwenza ntoni nini njani please because ndibonile sinee-sessions ezimbini ngoku. Ndike kwabekho okay umlungu ayingomlungu. Ndithi heyi
Ndingavuya man coach yazi. Ndiyathanda ukuxhuma sabhesi. Ndiyathanda man coach ndingavuya uba ungabuza ungandibiza noNadine sobabini sisidlala iportion eyi-1. Sihlala apha sobabini sikuxelele ke yonke into oyifunayo. Andizoyithanda xa ubuza kum ndedwa because singonumber 8 by 2 apha.
Lo wesibini la favorite yakhe.
La favorite yakhe.
Okay, good. Ufuna expose.
Ndifuna ukuxelela ukubana azange ndimxelele nix la tata. Waveza wayikhatha inqubo yethu short wathi ushiywa lixesha uzaphinda abuye. Ngomso singayigqibezela xa ikhepha iphele. Ndathi no sharp ndizayilindela ikholi yakho. Thetha uba mayaphelela apho into yam. So those are challenges, guys, funeka uzinqobe. Minor ones or major, nokukhawuleze uyithethe kuzo.
Emva koko sana yaba imisebenzi yakho ekuthethelelayo.
Ndasebenza kaloku xa ndivele ekhaya mna kwakunyanzela into yobana ndingalali ndincedisa utata wam nobrother wam. So ndandibaleka mna abakhwetha bayandazi ndandibaleka phandle.
Uleqa abakhwetha? Oh, amjoka. Njengasesikhwetheni.
Kaloku yindlela yethu yobaleka. Abantwana bethu esibanzima. Ayinamsebenzi futhi laa. Ayinamsebenzi. Bathi nayi ndibendikomashiywe ngo-1 athi awukagqibi ndithukhwethayi ndiqoma ndizawubetha sinyanzeleka ndinyukile because ndimotiveyithwa ngabantwana kakhulu.
Mandiyazi into endiyithandayo sana wahamba wayilimitha le nto yoba nempempe too much then wasebenza yintiro yabulawula umntu usetyenzelwa mamelani zi-athletes mamelani zi-boxers. Ungayiphosa enye into kwi-negotiations, ungayiphosa enye into nakwi-English, nakwi-fine print. Okay, sizakuncedisa apha, kwislapha apha. Eza nto ze-fine print sizakuncedisa. Ungayiphosi le yokusebenza. Sebenze hard. Sebenze hard nanku, setyenzele imisebenzi yakhe, kukhona i-favorite ka-coach ethile, engumlungazi, sekyenzelwa imisebenzi. 30 seconds.
Emveni koko ke kwacoba le nkani yam ke iphinda iyandi-eleveyitha. Kwakumqeqesho omtsha ndadlala ke ne-sevens hayi ke kwi-sevens ndayishape ndathini ndakaptena we-sevens. So ndibe ucaptain we-sevens from 2009 to 2013, owe-15 from 2008 after umsebenzi till 2014 World Cup France. So uDenver wabona into yobana hayi mani ukurayithi lo mntu angakwazi ulinda. Nalapho ndavese ndathi hayi andizoyenza le nto lena ngoba loku kukhona kwakuzidela sometimes not that
iwesana xa ucaptain ayitimeni abelungu
uyayibona and ke ngoku inabelungu inomntu ukuchuku mosesitimini uchuku nyhani and ndandiqonda uba andizokwazi mna ulidisha le and already ipressure kanomsebenzi bendiyibona.
Were you ever depressed at any moment uqonda uba okanye mhlawumbi uve nalapha koo-teammates omnye udepressed kangoba angaconsiderisha le nto ye-suicide?
Baba baninzi kakhulu and ke ngoku babhenele entweni yobana umntu ubhetele avese ayeke udlala. Avese ayeke udlala because thina bekhasidlalele imali guys and abanye abantu bebefuna imali. Mna ke ekhaya benditshile ndathi kubekho iteksi kwakwibhasi. So into yemali ibingekho sengqondweni yam bendidlala just uyithanda.
Uyatsikile yona ukuyenza imali kodwa ibingekho zodweni yam. Uyatsikile.
Nayo ndiyenzile kancinci but yona ndiyithetheleleyo. Kanti ndithethileyo imisebenzi yam so bendimane ndinyuka ke ehlelini njengoba ngoku ndiyi-coordinator yakhona. I've always andiyazi kwenzeka ntoni na ndicreate a champion mind umqala because yonke laa nto ndiyakwazi uyitransfera ebantwaneni bam. Ibhoda women ndibe kuyo.
Bakhona abantwana abadlala irugby, bakhona amantombazana adlala irugby, mawaphakame sokona, mawaphakame bethela. Amantombazana.
ke mos nyanambo zanze kani yam and bawubulisa unatshini -1 kum so abootata berabhi ke guys ndakuxelela mna bangogoliathi ufike umntu ajuke umqolo wakhe akakwazi nokwazi and wena usukela koleka awunalo nexesha lakho lokuqala ezomandisa ndithela uba mna kule weekend iphelileyo ndibe linina lokuqala ukusasaza isiXhosa
Springboks and Wales.
Springboks versus Wales.
This past Saturday.
Champion mind because ufika awuzange wawumsasazi awufundiswa nto phayana guys uyazenzela i-team sheets uyazikhangelela information ye-teams uyazikhangelela ndazixela into yobana jonga hayi kaloku mna ndisuke egulurha ndasuke echitha ikwazi the information ndiyenze to the team kwenzela into yobana athi umntu xa ndimameleyo acinge into yobana hayi mani ngumntu ongutata lo udlale erabhi okanye ngumntu ongumama abe nela 2 months because irabhi ebemanina till today sisayijingayisha out so usuper sport wenze indumasi kakhulu ngoba kanti unenina akwazi ukubeka lenze i-test match to cut matters short ndizawuphinda ndenze i-New Zealand
Manje jonga ikhona into kuwe that I'm picking up inside you. And now zamani niyiboleka apha kwethu ngiyayidinga. Wawela ngani yakho. Mhlawumbi abendlini. Yeah, no, mami. Abendlini mhlawumbi ungumuntu owahamba uchafe msinyane kwizinto that have to do with your goals. What Madison Williams is saying, develop lankani nge-goals zakho. Have lankani and passionate nge-goals zakho. Don't listen to anybody saying no about your dream. Don't. This is what she's saying. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me command you a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, I love it. I love it, man. I love it. This is a wonderful, irreplaceable point. Now, then you know what you said. It's not true. Mamelani is talented. Tell them about exceptionally talented today. It's not true that man can replace him. I'm going to say this again for free. It's not true that they can replace you. When you do it with such passion, 5 years down the line, if people forget it now, never think it. But hey, if ever corner, nobody. It's not true. Mama Martin somebody will replace you. Mama had so much chance, somebody will replace you. Lalela boy, you were the only man chance with Paris. There is no other one. Such that Namanj, but they don't have number 2. If I now. You man guys, are there talents and there athletes in the house? Yes. There is no one like you. Ucho mind would make use of lankani in a party. Be indispensable. Mabati kabetringa kuplanwa idream kutwe. Bakona bona onomvuyiso nonobubele. Bakona bona no Amanda Mara. Ofana no Amanda Samtola. This is what she's saying. Thank you, Mandy. I'm gonna move now to my last panelist. I'm gonna move to my last panelist. Nandita. Umrwana udlanga amandla umthenge uzulu uvumba lembongo mamtolo apha endlini bonke bakubonile kwi-roles ngezi-roles nkosi yami. Istory sakho is a fascinating one where I think now unayo liyangani. I'm speaking under correction. I think unayo liyangani. I need you to do highlights of your career, particularly where you felt it came as we shake, dig deep into something. Song up on stage, we had to dig deep into something and apparent. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the Multi Award winning Nambita Pumlana.
Ithemba lami, don't you gana lo mandigene elomise. Ithemba lami, ithemba lami, you They're trying to pack up because, well, I'm a preacher's kid and I'm a teacher's kid. Oh, you PK. I'm a serious PK and a TK. Bad combination. Ndizawuzibika one ndingunambitha ngumntwana phakathi kwenu ekhaya ndinomthandazo ndikhula ndisolusa and ndiyathanda uyibhalisa into yokubana ndisa e-DP one Friday once a month, last Friday of the month. Akho nto inenkani njengenkomo engafuni ukungena e-DP. Akho nto inenkani njenge-8-year-old girl kunyanzeleka uba angenze nankomo inenkani engafuni ukungena e-DP. Akawugqiba ahambe ayozisa enantsikeni azikhaphele alungiselele uya esikolweni. Ufike esikolweni because laa nkomo ibinenkani udlula ezinye namhlanje. Ulate, ubethelele ulate. So inkani yam I come by it honestly. And I'm very proud of it because it's got me through a lot of difficult things. My last name does not have an H. It's a small nose, one. So look at my pie and it's a little to be difficult. My first experience with suicide as an adult was when a friend of mine passed away. I don't know if you remember an amazing jazz musician, Moses Mulileko.
Yeah, pianist.
Amazing song. Our kids are about the same age and we went to the same church and that's how we met. And we're very good friends. When he passed away, I was with his family. And so it was a tiny little thing. And he didn't understand what was going on. I mentioned Zoe because it's going to matter in the next story. Zoe was a tiny little thing, he didn't understand. My son. And I remember being so angry. And I called Moss all sorts of weird and wonderful and ugly names. I didn't understand it. I remember I was shooting Seven Delan and I played a character that was vile. And do you remember Zandil? Remember how ugly she was? Now I usually had to put on that character. After Moss passed away, I just took it to work.
Sure.
I was angry anyway.
Yeah. And it was easy playing with Zandil.
Amazing performances after that.
Yeah.
My next experience, my next significant experience with suicide was one of my closest friends, Patrick Shai. A
At this point, I'm 55 years old. I've lived. And I held his wife's hand and I wept with her so deep within my soul. Because I looked up to him when I had challenges. We negotiated on ashes to ashes and we sat at the table. And I deferred to him, both as a man, as senior to me, as my friend, and somebody that I considered wiser and stronger. And he negotiated for both of us. When he passed on, I'm still quite emotional about it. I'm being hailed. When he passed on, I remember how excruciating that pain was. I collapsed. I was at a shopping center and I collapsed. I was holding my phone and the next thing I'm being given water, I'm sitting on a chair. It was outside the lifestyle center. And pictures were being taken of me. Selfies and pictures of Unamita Will. I couldn't face Umas Chaba for days on end. I dealt with the kids, I organized chairs, I did this and I did that. I couldn't face him. There was something in his suicide that resonated with me. I envied him. Let me tell you what I envied. I envied the peace. Not the death, but the peace. That is what is so alluring about suicide, because life is hard. In my life, when I get up to, every day I wake up, I'm a job seeker. That means I'm looking for work every day, 55 years old. I have the accolades that Uchawe was mentioning, but every day I'm a job seeker. Let me see, you've got a job. I'm still looking. And every day I show up for that job interview. I could be too tall, too short, too fat, too skinny, too light, too dark, too old, too young. Mention it, I am it. Every day I hear no. Every day. I envy Patrick's peace. I really did. Somehow. Then I looked at my son. Remember I told you about Moses and Zoe?
Yes.
Then I looked at my son. And we went home after I'd been comforting his kids. We went home and I looked at my son and he was scared. And I went into my room, I've got a vision board, and I wrote down the 4-letter word, L-I-V-E. Live. Live, Namita, live. I don't live for me alone, I live for him, so that he does not see this as a choice, as an option. Now come on now, you've read the stories about me. Come on, what do they call me? Well, I'm a workaholic, yeah, I am that. And I wear that like a badge. But there was a time when, after I started working on Generations, where I have an incredible work ethic, and I say that proudly because it is testimony to the way that I was brought up.
I like that.
Yes. I come from a strong line of not perfectionists, but people who strive and are achievers. None of us is perfect, but we are achievers in the family.
Yeah.
And you want to achieve. And I approach every character that I play, every moment on screen, on stage, with just as much soul and gusto as the previous one and the next one. So when I get to generations, I bring all of this on, and it was a force, it was a lot to deal with. So they started to call me names, and I remember the one day, I wake up on a Sunday and I was driving to the store, I think it was Pick and Pay, down Republic Road, and it says, "Save us from this diva." And I didn't know what they were talking about. And I picked up the papers and I took it home and I read it. And I was the diva. Oh no, the first one was prima donna. And I wept in front of my son, uncontrollably. After heaving and running out, and and I calmed myself down enough to interrogate. Please remember this word. Interrogate the words that were being used against me. I interrogated that. Now, I remember at the beginning I said to Kulile Nkunzi, God created us with the word. There will never be a day where the word is successfully used against you. Ever. They called me, they called me prima donna. And when I'm saying to you, interrogate the word, prima means first. Donna means lady. So if they're calling me a prima donna, which is first lady, why am I lying in my bed crying? The next thing when they realized that that didn't work, they called me a diva. Now, if you listen to Mhlobo Wenene, you know, diva. Hey. Because then what I realized is that a diva is a woman of strong will, of intensity, divine purpose. Why would that hurt me? Interrogate the labels that they throw on you and bestow them on yourself. When they throw the stones, you know the old adage, build that castle. They're helping you to build a castle. Lankani uma ndisathetha ngayo. Yokunenkani, ewe. In fact, mandikubonisele inkani yami, I will run from here to there and back here, ndingakheviseli, zobona. Lankani uThawe athetha ngayo athi, it will help you to succeed. I envied Patrick's peace, but I thrive on the challenge. And that's what they're
Yes. Yeah, but and I like the fact that I like the fact that what they throw to you as sour lemons on all those lemons, that you can actually make lemonade out of it. So that nobody as snacks that you can turn it around. Remember, every coin has two sides. There's a tail and there's a head. So you can turn it around and make something positive out of the negative label.
Oh yes, I do.
And we as a confirmer, but also confirm how you've turned this around to work for you.
What I say is this. You remember that word I said to you? Interrogate it. They will never, you are made of the word. The word cannot ever be a weapon against you.
Wow.
If you take that with you, if you envy, as I did, and still do, envy Patrick's peace, and now in retrospect, Envy,
Not
Moses,
that
please.
you're promoting suicide.
It doesn't,
No.
I do not promote
Yes,
suicide.
yes.
I acknowledge that when I stand over a cliff, there is a thought in me that says, I want to jump. But I celebrate the moment I step back from the cliff.
Yes. And one moment you say, but givers don't jump. So, Uchika, we said it as a strength not to jump. You're standing on the cliff, and something in you says, damn, I should also be sleeping peacefully, but guess what? Divas don't quit.
Divas don't quit.
Divas don't quit, baby. Divas don't jump. Divas don't give up. Divas are stubborn.
The last
in the last 30 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. In the last 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So the last thing I want to leave you with is 2 things. That the last one is something that I share with my kids. But do you know that expression that says a friend in need is a friend in need?
Yeah.
Let me break it down to you. The person who needs you and comes to you and makes themselves, hear this, vulnerable to you. I see you as Sihlobo and I can bare myself to you. That's your friend. The person who trusts you is the person you can trust. When you get that moment, that's the person. If you're struggling to identify, because in our line of work, they are looking. How many of you have bought Sunday World? How many of you go on Black Twitter to read Musa Kaula, Unambita, Uzahara, Beteni, Kwacha, you amanyalo emoji, Swash. You are lonely,
Yes, Nabita, you brought up something powerful. Guys, all of you, world champions, SA champions, artists. The more you succeed, is the more you're going to attract bad wishers for you. And the answer is I don't love in life. See, where's capitalistic game? It is the province of the legends. If there's one downside about us, it's the Monelana. Blind. No, serious. So it's important, Gelendo. I tell you. Namita, I wanted to ask you a question because also you are an industry champion. I wanted to ask you about how depressing, or have you seen some of fellow actors? On TV. 10 episodes, Club Generations. So whenever we industry champion, how much does it do to actors? Lendo oppression of actors, not only by white production companies, but guess what? By black production companies as well.
You bring me to my final point.
First Lady.
Andifuna ukubukela xa isiwe uthenge usiya kunomona yazi. Mandithi abaphathi basaqhuba. There is something that I'm going to share with you. This is a code in my household. You have, remember I told you that the person, that the friend in need is a friend in need. The person who makes themselves vulnerable to you is the person that you can and may trust. But beyond that, if you look around you, there is somebody in your household before umlomo sanuka, umkhala ufike emashiyeni, awukafike nase-toilet. In other words, you are grumpy because your bladder is still full from the night before. And that person looks at you with love. You know exactly who I'm talking about because you just pictured that person. Remember that person and that look on their face when you are tested. So I'm gonna ask you to get up with me right now. That is on your feet. There we go. That's it. I want you to remember that uthandiwe phambi kokuba ufike apha. Uthandiwe uvela khona. Uyathandwa kule ndawo ukuyo, uyathandwa noba ayingabo abantu kunye nabo, but akukhoyo nje khona umuntu okucingayo uthandayo. And no matter what you do, whatever mistake you make, whatever crude and abusive and vile thing you do, useza uthandwa because uzawuxolelwa ngomso. I don't know if you can hear me. Past, present, and future tense. Uthandiwe, uyathandwa, useza uthandwa. Now let's make it personal. Ndithandiwe, ndiyathandwa, ndiseza kuthandwa. Even louder. Ndithandiwe, ndiyathandwa, ndiseza kuthandwa.
Wow, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause to my entire panel here. Thank you so much. Give them a big round of applause.
Since I'm gonna sing one track, right? I was gonna ask, since I'm a child of the Eastern Cape, and I'm born here, right? And your heroes are here. Never mind the panel, they're sitting right there. Please, MEC, whatever you do, think of us first. It must be international things, we get accolades internationally, but here at home, we are not being recognized. Everything that happens in the Eastern Cape starts with us. We don't want to see Melania without Xhosas. We don't want to see Ubeleni without Xhosa artists. Everything for Xhosas is going to be ours.
Thank you. To the rest of the other panelists, thank you so much. That's right. That's right. When I went to do one song and then acknowledgements and announcements.
Oh, yes.
For this one, since that you know most gender-based violence is that we were talking about it's for all the strong young ladies that are here and strong women that are here. It's called Strength of a Woman. Because I experienced it in my life.
Who is around
I will say yes, hello.
Miss Glee.
Hello.
Diva.
Kumnandi basekhaya, yabonani malala. Strength of a woman comes from within. You make it down today. She will surely come around. Strength of a woman comes from within. You can get it down today. She'll surely come around. Inyande longo, usange ko.
Isamu phakamisa inhloko yami umphefumulo wami awuvume. Ibuhlungu inhliziyo yami Isamu ophamatonya isandla sami sithambile. Ibuhlungu inhliziyo yami Ibuhlungu dan kumbang yang nilagoke desi salsa oh dia papata oh andia si any pleasure on yeah nothing to hide all is that thing and it was when you see your love all is that thing and it was when you see your love all is that thing it was when you see your
Njalo alingene phofuni egcikweni. Ngiyajabulisa ngiyaqala bakale bhatala. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, Sahara. Yeah. Thank you, Sahara. Benifuna ke singene kula part apho baeze Mr. Makubalo azobulela. Benifuna singene kula part yokubreaka na Mr. Jacobs. Ngicela uze kumdadu Jacobs. Ngicela uze kume stage just to introduce ESA champs and world champs as Koyo Entry. I think nguwe osibona kahle. Nguwe osibona kahle. Lantu ba ebethe uMEC xa sine chance masibreake. Uyabo? Sifumana ke ngoku Mr. Jacobs eza breaking rights. Uyabo? Usenza bamandi otherwise because sisenza engage kakhulu na this afternoon. Khandi ayicela lantu ba ke sibreake kancinci Mr. Jacobs uyaza mosne. Champs, Mr. Jacobs unibone nonke kaniziveze bakuye. Kaniziveze ndicela champs zonke masizapha Mr. Jacobs front please. Zonke champion from the world champions to the SA champions. Zonke champions hayi ngicela nibethele izandla bonke abantu abangenamona. Ngicela zonke champions. Ngicela zonke champions. Ngicela zonke champions. I yabona ke Gaddafi Eastern Cape ke klasithetha ke champions sithetha ke boxing. Ngicela zonke champions masize front ne former world champions. Once a world champion, always a world champion. It's like being a buccaneer. Once a buccaneer, always a buccaneer. Once a buccaneer, always a buccaneer. A buccaneer, a near baka, a near baka. Ebeza chumzo wake babekhona. Ngicela sikhwele stage sonke i-champions zam sonke stage. All the champions on 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 stage. Some the champions are on stage. All the champions on stage. Mr. Jacob, I'm going to introduce ezekutshiyeni manjani. Ebuse, now's the champions is on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce the champions of the world. And I introduce from the red corner. From the red corner, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. And I introduce, ladies and gentlemen, the international contender, our very own Azinga Fuzile. Azinga Fuzile. Oh. Okay. All right. And then, the IBF Africa champion, Kanyile Pulana. And then let me also introduce the South African Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce South Africa's featherweight champion, Asanda Kili. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the South African bantamweight champion, Lwandile. And then, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the WBF Africa champion, the WBF Africa bantamweight champion, Lusuko CEO. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the WBO Africa Youth Champion, bantamweight flyweight, Luyanda Dwanambi. All right, and then let me. And let me introduce the junior bantamweight international contender, Pumelela Kafu. And ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the WPF, the WPO international and Commonwealth champion of the world, Zorani. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the junior flyweight WBO global champion, Nana Diva. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Gideon Mutalasi, the undisputed Junior Putnam champion. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the champions. Give a final round. Lucizo Manzana, the one he's recent, very recent. ABU Junior Bantam champion. The ABU Junior Bantam champion. Thank you. Let's give the champions a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, champions. Okay, Pamela again. Here's an announcement, a very important announcement, and then Mr. Makubalo will come and do the closing remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the food is there. Listen, all of you receive SMSs on your message, most of you. It's a survey that you want to find out. Actually now, we talk to you personally, and as Rafa said, you are allowed as a personal artist, as whatever. If you need counseling, if you are never, but the survey will ask you questions about the program, whatever, how we can improve it. So we really appreciate if you received an SMS to respond. So right now, if you have received it, please raise your hand so that we can see that you are receiving my SMS. So right now he's gonna close. After he closes, we're gonna eat. Nobody leaves. Now we're getting into the business of this. He has done a great job. Can we give him a round of applause again? We are taking him, we are traveling with him, but we discussed, we need your permission. Thank you so much, but do not leave. After eating, we come back here. We get into the business now. Why you here? Ask, whatever. You ask questions, but we're talking mental wellness. We're talking about these things. So all our panelists will be here. After eating, the tag they gave you, everyone, man, I've put a cap. Why don't you all take out the cap? See if I can come in. Okay, they leave people here. Take out and wear a cap so that we can see that you're part of us. See? And the t-shirt, if you can wear it, take it out, go there and wear it. But I don't want to take too much of your time.
Thank you very much. Okay, last round, artists and athletes. Just the last round. We'll sing after I have spoken. Mine is an easy task to express words of thanks. Diagaraman. Ayibonakalisa inhlonipho. Into bithi program likaphela bekhona abantu ngenyawo sebebonakalisa they don't care. Can you please get seated? Please. Usisambitha ke uthe xa bethetha apha wathi ungumntana etitshala. Waye ungumntana omshumayeli. Mna ke be-teacher by profession. And uyeka kwam utitsha ndandiyi-principal yesikolo. Yeah, man. So ndiyiphelile inzolo kwi-assembly. You know, to say thank you ebantwini is easy, but it's also difficult. Because of you that I will figure it out. Let me start by the Silapha crew as working with the National Department of Sport, Arts and Culture for this kind of a thing, because it takes one person to have a concept and put it down, and then it yields the results that you see here today. And also thank the minister and the DG, deputy minister in absentia. We know programs that they are following today. Our MEC is here with us. We also had the member of the Mayoral Committee from Buffalo City. The HOT was also here. With all the busy schedules, they decided that they should honor us. Let me come to our program director, the only Patco Mputu Mafani, who is multi-talented. Some of you only know Patco as Umsasazi. In our time as young rugby players, Patco used to play fly half for a club that was called Black Lions at Kingsburg. Kusitshoke amagqulukwe amabhola ntaba. Kuthiwa Peter ngesigweke kwedinga amafana uphume kwelicala. Atshisa for Mofinyoka. Uchimbizo amakoti bephekile. Thank you very much, Chawe. And also thank the panelists that were here today that shared their stories with us. And I hope we've learned a lot because there's still a road ahead of us. You know, Mandisa, I remember a day when somebody was saying, like, Alecha is too chubby. He's not going to grow in rugby. And I said, this girl will be a springbok. And Mandisa became a springbok. So we really appreciate what they said. Let me thank all the artists. You know, abanye abantu bayithatha kancinci le nto ndizawubhekisa kakhulu to those abangama-Afrika. Le nto yobu-artist xa sithetha inyani inokwenza nentwaso. Because uthi uhleli xa uyi-artist kubekho ilizwi elithi apha kuwe endlebeni, write a song. Kubekho ilizwi elithi thatha isiqobo usixoze usiconverte sibe ngumfanekiso womuntu. Uthi uhleli kubekho le nto ithi khawuphakame uvule inhliziyo yakho uthethe ube yimbongi. It's not all of us that have got that gift. So we need to really appreciate that every artist ngamagqirha asinyangayo emphefumlweni. Osasingabafana sasinengoma esizaziyo into yoba uba usoyintombi kudala uthethe into kuye engafuni ubukwamdlalela ingoma ethile kaJim Reeves noba uyawuthamba inhliziyo. That's the duty and the role that the artists are playing in our lives. Thank you very much, artists. The future is yours. The athletes that are here today, together with their mentors. I know some of them, but they decided that they can't afford not to come here today. And the young aspiring stars, when I talk about my province, the Eastern Cape, I always say, this is the province where champions are born and bred. Whether you're an artist, you are a champion in your own right. Apa, the province, they are the home of champions. Tina, we breed. We give back to champions. We breed the champions. And these are the champions that are here today. Members of the media, thank you very much for your time because you write good stories about us. Silapha crew and the National Department, from the bottom of my heart, how I wish this could be an annual program and it be decentralized to the regions because some of the artists and athletes could not be here because programs. Thank you very much. But as it was indicated, lunch is going to be served there, and then we come back at 2 o'clock so that we engage. Because it reflect, but now we must say something and to say this is how best this thing will be. The time is yours. You must make your demands from government. I don't fear any contradiction around that. It is now your time to demand what is due to you, but of course, in a polite manner. In a polite manner. In conclusion, if I was able to sing marching towards lunch tower, I was going to say, Bambulele,